thanks for what you do with your podcast and all the rest. You're doing a great job. Hope everybody keeps tuning in. You get a lot of good info, a lot of insights, understandings of how to get strong, how to stay strong, how to use your strength.
You do a great job, dude. You make things better than they are in real life, I think.
If you don't follow Massenomics, y'all do it. Social media, website, everything.
Massenomics.
We are back and better than ever for episode 394 of the Massenomics podcast. We are the lifting podcast about nothing. This is recorded live from western northeast South Dakota and eastern southeastern South Dakota. My name is Tanner.
And my name is Tommy.
We're back in the saddle again. 394, just seven short episodes until the big 400. And boy, do we have some big things planned for that one.
Man, that came out of nowhere. I did not see that coming at all.
Oh, here we were. It's like, yeah, I feel like we just recorded episode 300 not that long ago.
I feel like we recorded 200 not that long ago.
I don't really remember what we did for episode 200, though.
I don't really remember what we did for any of them. I just kind of black out every night.
I don't really remember what we did for episode 393.
I barely do either.
This week, we've got a special episode which includes a very big, important Massenomics announcement, along with a special guest, big Micah Marino. Getting to all that later. Very special big announcement coming soon. But first, I want to tell all of you about our fine friends over at JUGGERNAUT AI. JUGGERNAUT Training Systems is the leader in strength, having helped thousands of athletes from beginners to world champions maximize their results and reach their goals. They deliver principle-based coaching through the cutting-edge technology of the app to help you get the best results in your life. JUGGERNAUT AI is the training that both Tommy and I use. Several of our supporting members use it. Several gym members use it. It's extremely affordable. With our discount code Massenomics, it's going to cost you about $30 per month. And I love it. You can set your meet date if you're a power lifter, or just set a testing date if you're not actually planning on competing. Training through the phases of hypertrophy, strength, and peaking to get you there, and sets you up nicely for success in a relatively simple, very user-friendly format. So check it out, juggernautai.app. You must sign up through the web browser. That's where you can use discount code Massenomics.
Today's show is also brought to you by Texas Power Bars. Buddy Capps first started lifting weights in the late 60s and began powerlifting in the mid-70s. At the time, he was working for Image Barbell building gym equipment. Around 1976, a local machine shop started making Olympic bars for them, calling it the Image Bar. In 1977, Image Barbell became Champion Barbell. It was then that Buddy started looking at the bars with an intent of changing them for the better. Fast forward to today, and Buddy's passion, drive, and purpose have now been put together to create the 29mm Texas Power Bar. It's strong as a house with the best knurling and is maintenance-free. Hundreds of state, national, international, and world powerlifting records have been and continue to be set and broken on the Texas Power Bar, and it has now become one of the all-time favorite bars in Massenomics Gym. To learn more about Texas Power Bars and buy one of the new legends, the 29mm bar, visit texaspowerbars.com.
Thanks, TPB. We've got Big Colton in the Discord, one of our supporting members, Big Colton. I like his comment here about related to JUGGERNAUT AI. He said, I might have to change my JUGGERNAUT test date to December 9th, which is a very special day coming up here in Massenomics, in the Massenomics community. So we know why I said December 9th, right, Tommy?
Yes, that's an important segue, I think, to one of our first announcements of this week.
Yes, this isn't granted, this is a big announcement, but this isn't even the big announcement that we have coming here. That's how many big, important announcements we have in this episode. What Big Colton is referring to is the Crew Falls December to Remember meetup event that we first announced on last week's episode of the podcast. Will be taking place December 9th. All supporting members are welcome and encouraged to come in and join the fun. I think we are now up to...
What's the official number? What are we
I think we're up to 18 officially registered, and then a couple more that have said, yeah, I'm planning on coming, but we got a couple local guys up here that would maybe won't fill out the form, but I kind of feel like they're probably going to be there.
Yeah,
So
they're not into the formalities of those.
Yeah, they won't humor me and just do the thing I'm asking everyone to do, but like
they'll
probably
give you
show
your
up.
word. They give them their word.
Right. So I think I'm just going to go officially registered 18. We've got a few more that have we know we talked about Big Keith who was flying in.
Oh yeah.
Last week.
Yes. Let's hear the flight list. We got a few on there.
Yeah, I think we got New York, Florida. We've got one registered Florida crew member
because that's what everyone in Florida wants to know is what South Dakota's like in December.
In December, and then later this week we had 2 West Virginians that are going to be flying in together. So we've got at least. We're starting to get our corners of the.
Well, the East Coast is represented pretty well. The West is really lacking now.
That's true. Where's Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre and all those guys when you need them? Who do the East Coast guys be? Is that like Jay-Z and P. Diddy and stuff like that?
Yeah,
that's a little newer, maybe.
Like from back in the day, Notorious B.I.G.
Yeah,
Nas maybe.
Rap. It's all sounds the same to me. Just kidding. I actually like all of those people we just mentioned there. That it doesn't actually all sound the same to me. It all sounds a little different and nuanced.
It's unique. Unique nuances.
So that December 9th date set in stone. You can register on our website. You go to the About tab on the top ribbon of the Massenomics.com website, and then click the Crew Falls, and you'll see more information. And that more information has been updated. First, most importantly here, we have set the location of the official lifting part of the event. We're all going to go train together at the gym, and that gym is going to be none other than Liberty Barbell, owned and operated by Jonah Leo, USAPL gold medalist in the equipped bench press and former guest of the Massenomics podcast. He will be hosting us at Liberty Barbell. So that's exciting news. He's got a good, really sweet gym set up there. I think it'll work really well for what we want to go do with all the crew members
for the takeover.
Yeah, for the takeover. And then the additional, just more of an update. There's a lot of people that are traveling in have asked about hotels, and some people have started to book. We put out our official recommendation as what were the 2 downtown hotels?
I believe the Holiday Inn downtown and was it the Hilton Garden Inn? Was that the other one?
I think that's right. Big Keith is listening live. Hilton Garden Inn, Sioux Falls downtown. We recommended those because they are nice and close to where our Saturday evening festivities will wind us up, and we figured it makes the most sense to be close to that destination,
to downtown where all the action is. Both those hotels are about a block or 2 apart. So if you feel like you're brokenhearted because someone's staying at the other one, it's not that big a deal. You're within walking distance.
For what it's worth, I have seen Keith at the Hilton, and then I think the West Virginia guy said that's where they're going to go also. So maybe that should be your number one goal.
That probably should be at the top of your list, unless you're a diehard IHG type of guy. Then
right, that's why we've got the options there at least. So we are excited to see who else signs up. There's already been several that I'm like, that's surprising but awesome. Every time it's an awesome surprise when I see someone sign up. So
when you called me and told me, you gave me the rundown of the list the other day, and I was pumped. I was really excited. One, because when we started this, we're like, if we got to 8, that would be, if we had 3, it'd be a ton of fun. But we're like, if we got to 8 people, we'd have a blast. That'd be a great time. And we're at 18 or 19 or whatever now, and that number will get bigger. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
It'll be a lot of fun. And Colton was talking about changing his, because we are going to have this training session. So I'm curious to see what everyone decides to do for that, because there'll be a lot of rotating in. It's a good sized gym he's got multiple racks, benches, and all that stuff, but we'll be rotating in with each other. So I assume probably, some people will be deadlifting, some people will be squatting maybe, and some people will be benching, and we just get a rotation on there. I'm going to try and time my training maybe just with a little manipulation that I could try and have like a heavy, at least heavy for me right now, sets of deadlifts for that day. Like that would be a fun one to be able to do with the group, because I don't want to waste the mojo.
Right. Yeah, you got to feed off the energy there.
Right.
Yeah, I've been briefly thinking about that. What way I'm gonna push that. So I'll play it by ear, but it was
Right.
the same thing like when Chad came. It was like, oh, I could go for, if I just like move my days around a little bit, I can have
Right.
an RP 10 squat day on that day. It's like, okay, yep, we will do that. We will make that happen.
It's nice to have an RPE 10. What I would potentially have if I could maybe manipulate it right is like a RPE 10 set of 5 deadlifts. So I might go for something like that in that neighborhood.
I should actually look what mine by default is set up to be.
Probably
I'm just
deload.
right. I'm not on a deload, but I'm just like
right.
dead in the middle. Actually, I could sneak it up and potentially do. I'm just like right in the middle of a block, so it's kind of hard to cheat that one way or the other. But
maybe it's even worth for some people just going slightly off script.
Just
even,
going off script, yeah.
I go off script so little, if basically anymore. I go off script never. So it's almost like an anxiety thing if I think really too much about not doing what I'm just like.
I wouldn't be too. I 100% know what you mean. At this point, though, if I went off script and bench, I'd be like, whatever. That actually
it's not.
That wouldn't
Yeah,
bother me
right.
at all. Off script and squat would kind of suck, but.
Yeah.
Notice I'm not talking about deadlifting at all because who cares?
But that's fun. Now we have enough people here. If we have 20 people lifting together, there's going to be a variety of the lifts that people are choosing.
Of what's going on. Yes. Yeah.
Right.
It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it will be a lot of fun. So, thanks Liberty Barbell and Jonah Leo for going to be our future host of that part of the event. That'll be cool.
And then I guess the other final piece to figure out, Big Keith had mentioned, because some people will get there on Friday, is what does Friday look like? And we haven't really talked about that a ton yet. I live here, so it's easier for me. So I'm kind of up for whatever on Friday. I'll figure out something, make that work. But no formal plans at the moment for what Friday consists of. But that is something we kind of mentioned that we might get something figured out there.
Yeah. So get signed up. The more the merrier. The more crew, the better. I'm hoping it's the snowball thing. The more I get signed up, the more exciting, the more fun it gets, the more that people that are on the edge just say, yeah, I'm in.
70 people. And we're like, okay, we actually just need an event room at a hotel.
I hope that doesn't happen actually, because then we don't exactly know what to do here.
It would be an actual problem.
Yeah.
We don't know that many people with Costco memberships. How are we all going to get in there?
Right. Okay. So should we get to our big announcement then? The
Probably. Actually, I'm really thirsty though. I'm very thirsty.
Okay, yeah, that's actually a good idea. Delay it a little bit.
Is that pamplemousse?
What do you got?
It is a pamplemousse kind of night.
It's pamplemousse kind of night, isn't it? Last recording in Studio 6.9.0.
And I'm spilling all over myself.
We had to go outright with a pamplemousse.
Classic.
Hopefully someone can run the odds on what are the odds that you and I choose the same random sparkling water on the same night.
It's kind of hard because there is an element of preference to it.
Right, for sure. But luckily for the odds makers, our preferences are all documented for hundreds of cans here, so you could run something with our preferences, our ratings on various cans.
Get the preference algorithm going here.
Yeah. Okay, big announcement then. Well, what do you give this a 4?
Well, absolutely 4. 4 and a half, all day.
Right. Okay. So the big announcement that we have coming up here, we can officially announce this. This is important. I hope everyone stop lifting if you're one of those insane
pull over
people.
your car. Listen,
if you're if you're one of those psychopaths that's lifting right now, listening to this, stop chuckling because you just realized, yes, that's me. And now you stopped your set. You just stop mid-set right now you listen to this.
Stop it, goddammit.
Yeah. If your kids are in the back seat screaming at you, tell them to shut up back there or else you'll turn this thing around because Massenomics has something important to announce. This is big news. We have officially, there is a date set for the Lift Hard, Live Easy Classic sequel powerlifting meet. I don't know. I guess we don't know if the official name of this meet yet, but
too hard, too easy.
Yeah, so this is just saying the sequel. The next Massenomics powerlifting meet, a sequel to the Lift Hard, Live Easy Classic meet, will be happening here in 2024. The date is set. The venue is set again. It is July 20th, 2024, Saturday, July 20th. Same location.
We were debating having it on a Wednesday, but we did decide that Saturday would be the better
Saturday
day.
kind of worked out decent last, so I guess we'll go with that again. So it will be same location, relatively the same date, because we were 7/22, so we're kind of hitting that same exact weekend. So although we are cutting, if you started meat prepping the day after, we are technically cutting that meat prep 2 days short because you're not getting a full year.
Yes,
that you've been able to meat prep.
Yep.
But
so keep that in consideration.
Yeah,
you gotta have that prep. You gotta have that peak set up 2 days earlier.
Yes. So July 20th, mark it in your calendars. If you're planning on participating, planning on getting signed up, you can't sign up yet. Haven't opened that. I was talking with Dave. We were both talking with Dave just literally as like the Gino was saying our intro. I was sending Dave another message talking about the timing of when that registration opens. You guys don't get to know that yet. We got some things working there because there's
levels
a likely
to this
chance.
thing.
Yeah, there's a likely chance that there is a strongman element to this event this year, that the Lift Hard, Live Easy class has become slightly bigger than just powerlifting in 2024, and there's a strongman element, and the registration for that's a little trickier. That's not going to be necessarily a giant strongman event. Be some different moving pieces of that, but we're working on it, and that will all be coming soon. There will be further updates not far from now.
So stay tuned.
Yeah, so any of you strongman out there may be an option for you. It may, you just stay tuned. I don't want to say too much because there's too many moving parts. Talking with Tommy about that, talking with Dave, working with Big Jake the Snake on some stuff, and we just got a lot of stuff that we're working on there.
Mm-hmm. But it's all looking good.
It's looking good. Okay. Did you see? You got a couple things. I don't know if you want to hit on.
Well,
any
we
of
got a
these
few
now
house
or not.
cleaning items. First
okay.
of all, Tanner, did you get your ears lowered?
I got my chin raised. Yeah,
Oh, that's what
I
it
didn't
is,
cut
your
my
chin
hair yet,
raised.
though.
Yeah, I know you didn't cut your hair.
I didn't cut my hair yet, but I did. I took quite a bit off. A disturbing amount of hair when I looked down in the sink. I'm like, wow, that was definitely the longest my beard's ever been.
Yes.
So it's kind of a bittersweet. It's kind of tough doing that when I've put all that time, not effort, but just purely zero effort.
Just pure waiting around.
Yeah.
It is still like I still look at like, oh, you still got a dark beard, like it's shorter,
Right.
but it doesn't look actually that different.
Nobody outside of my immediate family, like I've had this since Saturday morning when I did it. Nobody in passing in work or anything has said a word about it.
Like,
I cut
look at me, damn it. Look at me.
this much beard off and nobody, I don't think anybody's noticed.
Yes. And I
looked homeless before and now I think like my beard looks like fairly
It does.
kept.
It does look like trim and cleaned and very intentional,
Right.
but at the same time, it's like, well, it's still just a guy with a beard, so it doesn't. as weird as that sounds,
It's not unless you like completely shave it off.
Yeah.
That it does look.
That's where
But I'm
things
like,
really different.
if you look at a picture, or like I pulled a clip from Table Talk today. I'm like, you cannot see my mouth.
No.
Like my mouth is completely hidden. That's the freakiest thing about after the trim. When you brush your teeth, you're doing your side teeth and you do this. And when I'm looking in the mirror, I'm like,
what the hell
holy
are those
crap. Like, look at all my teeth. And then I'm like, I look like a skeleton. Like in The Dark Knight when Two-Face first shows you the other side and you see all the teeth in his mouth. And I'm like, oh, that's disturbing. I feel like you should
This is terrifying. I need to cover up again. Save the world from seeing this.
That's kind of what I thought. So yeah, I did do that. I did do it. No,
It's gotta feel pretty good though,
regrets,
doesn't it?
though. It feels good. I don't actually everything from here down is irrelevant. I don't even notice it. It's just getting my mustache
area.
out of my mouth for a while.
Yeah.
But I like the mustache. I like the look of the ridiculous mustache.
mustache.
Yeah. So, because I could obviously do what I did without the mustache, but then I don't like that as well. Then I like the mustache is the glue that holds the whole.
It's the principle that they all just belong together. It's like the star on the Christmas tree, right?
That's if it's gonna be unkept, I want it to be 100% unkept. I don't want it to be like, oh, he's kind of trying to do something with that
signals,
beard.
like, is this guy trying to groom himself? Because damn, he's not doing it right.
He's not doing a very good job.
it's
No,
like,
I want it to be like that guy obviously does not groom his
he
beard.
He quit so long ago. Yeah.
Yes. That's my philosophy on that. But it all all things come back, right? You know,
They
it's
do.
just time.
Usually.
Yeah.
Well, some guys actually never does come back for you.
That's true. We'll see. It'll be a little bit better, I suppose, by the December to Remember event. But
I think so.
my big thing is I probably will go until now the Arnold without
really.
I probably might
That's
not.
the plan again.
I think I can make the Arnold,
Okay.
and have a pretty good
run.
pretty
at it
again
Yeah.
well unkept beard again by the Arnold.
Yeah. Well, how long was it? Do you think the last time before you shaved of any kind?
I can't remember. I actually
Like
meant to
over
go
a
back
year?
and look. I don't know if it had been a full year or not.
Okay.
Probably less than that, but I didn't start from nothing either, so I don't know.
Yeah.
It's hard to say, but maybe about a year's worth of growth.
Okay. I was also in Aberdeen for a very quick visit earlier this week. I had client projects lined up all day on a Monday, so I was just boom, boom, boom.
Case of the Mondays.
It was a major case of the Mondays, man. I got done with that, and I'm thinking, as good as these days are, because I'm insanely productive and making some money because I'm working just like crazy for a day. These days are hard. they're very wearing on you. But I had to make a quick visit at Massenomics gym for one of my every so
Clothing
often.
dumps.
Every so often, I like to do a little merchandise dump at the gym, and I'm in the process of moving. I decided, you know what, large shirts. I don't like wearing my large shirts anymore, and I had a fair number of ones that either people had given
what
us.
blank were they?
What's that?
What blank were they?
Actually, there's a variety of blanks in there because I had quite the time capsule of shirts. So I had a lot of larges, and probably I'm actually curious. Did you know was there much of the pile left?
No.
It's
As
gone.
of today, the only thing that was left is a polo and a flannel.
Wow. Yeah.
The
Okay.
shirts went fast.
Oh my God. Yeah. I probably had 35.
You told me that, and I was there the next day at noon, and there was 2 shirts left. So someone got a whole bunch of shirts.
I probably dropped between 30 and 40 shirts down there. There were so many. So I dropped those off. But while I was in there, I saw Ryan, talked to him for a minute, and I was walking out, and I said, wait a minute, I got to try this hack squat, see what this is about. And to compare it to
what'd you think?
To compare it to the only other hack squat I've ever used.
Yeah.
The footprint of this one is definitely smaller, which I would say is
That's
possibly a bonus, actually, especially in that gym.
Preferable. Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
The biggest actual feel that I noticed that was different of the whole thing is that one is for sure lighter when it's empty.
So ours is.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it is for sure
Which
lighter.
it sounded like by that.
And I think it might even be angled. You might even be slightly
back
more on your
farther.
back, which I think also lends to the lightness feeling because you're
Right.
even less vertical.
Yes.
The motion, like I know what you're talking about, where you can hear like where it's not completely smooth, but the motion feels
it doesn't.
essentially smooth. It just sounds
It's mostly audible, really.
yeah,
Is
and it's
like
not like you're hearing like grinding metal. It just you hear like
No,
those
it's just
clicks
kinda like-
of where it's not totally
Yeah.
smooth. The
Right.
thing that I noticed the biggest feel wise, what was different, is that the one that I'm used to, the back pad actually goes down just about to your butt, so your entire back is at all times covered by it. This one,
Right.
I could feel the back pad goes about to your low back tailbone area, and that's where it cuts off. That was actually the biggest difference feel wise of the entire
Right.
thing.
Right.
Not counting like upholstery, like that's.
Right.
I mean, that's kind of a different thing, but otherwise they did feel very, very similar. Which makes sense. It's a hack squat. It's a thing. Just it's at an angle.
It's a hack that you squat with your knees.
Yeah, but I can see like Ryan was hyping it up. He's like, "Oh, I love this thing. This thing's so awesome." And so
People use it every day.
just eating it
Every
up.
single person at the gym that I've run into, even people that I'm like, oh, they'll never use that. I ask them, hey, have you tried that? And be like, yep, I use it every week now. Like every single person.
it's amazing.
Like it is the
Just
most used new piece of equipment we've gotten in 5 years, I
the
think.
missing piece. That was the missing piece of the puzzle that everyone wanted.
Yes. Yes. I don't know if we got time for any of these.
That's what I'm looking at. Some of these I could just go on for days talking
Oh,
about
here-
these things.
I'll just say one quick one because this one's not all that interesting. Burger King, in Aberdeen, the sign says it's temporary closed.
Oh,
But what I looked into, I don't think it's temporary closed. Burger King just closed 400 stores.
really?
Yeah, so I think Aberdeen,
Holy.
Western Northeast South Dakota is going to be officially Burger King list, probably for the first time in, I would guess, like 50 years.
Really?
Right now it is, but it said temporarily, but the rumor and the research tells me that no, Burger King is no more, at least here locally.
Wow, yeah, I found the news article. Burger King will close up to 400 stores by the end of the year. That is nuts. If there's one franchise that I feel like all seem to be just managed terribly, Burger King would be at the top of the list.
But yeah, and like my reaction is, really, Burger King is going to close? That's crazy. And then I asked myself, when was the last time I purchased anything from Burger King? I couldn't tell you.
And I know a lot of times franchises, especially in our part of the country, they tend to be owned by a bigger franchise group that owns like 30 locations. Right. And man, I do not go out of my way to go to Burger King. It's like a last option, like last option. And
why is that? I agree, but why do you? Why?
I'm just telling you, because
just sucks.
I couldn't tell you the last time I've been to Burger King in South Dakota where I thought, this doesn't seem like it's falling apart and everyone's dying. Like every time you go there, it's just like, it just seems like it's the worst run place ever. And I don't blame the workers. I blame management. It's management's job to get people running that ship right. And it just seems like it's just falling apart every time I go in there. So, I mean, it doesn't totally surprise me, but it's a huge brand. You'd think that they'd have a little more momentum, but maybe things aren't going good for them.
I bet I haven't been inside the doors of that Burger King building in a decade.
I bet the one in Aberdeen, I was probably in it. Oh boy, I bet, probably 7-8 years ago was probably the last time I was in that one.
Right. Yeah. So, and then also I asked my wife, like, have you, like, and I kind of already know the answer, but I'm like, have you been to Burger King like ever? And she's like, no, I would never. Never go there. I'm like, who goes there? You know, like, who's going? And then I'm like, maybe it's just old. Do old people like Burger King? Is that a thing? I don't know.
But I think have they all migrated to Culver's now?
That's what I think so. I mean, Culver's is way better. They should migrate.
It is. Well, that's the thing is, like, McDonald's, same thing. I will not go to McDonald's unless it's like the absolute worst last case scenario, because you're going to pay $12 for a burger that's shitty. Yeah. That there's other fast food places that I'm not saying Culver's is the pinnacle of hamburgers, but it just feels way more quality than McDonald's in my brain.
What I feel like McDonald's did, they just cornered the market on the kids. Like kids, I'd say like kids and convenience. It's like Starbucks. Right. There's just one everywhere. You know, right. I think Sioux Falls has like 5 of them. But like before I had kids, I would go to McDonald's not at all. Mm-hmm. And then now I find myself all like, because it is so convenient and because kids like it, and there just is like a vibe around McDonald's for children that they're like, yes, we like McDonald's. Like I've never run into a kid that's like, no, not McDonald's, but I certainly could see them, like one of my kids being like, no, not Burger King. You know, like they probably all would say that. They'd be like, gross. Why?
Well, that is. Yeah. Okay, I got to say no. Okay, along these same lines, though, I put this in here. I put Taco Bell. I was blown away. When I was driving back from Aberdeen, I stopped at the Taco Bell in Brookings, and I was so hungry, I couldn't wait any longer. I had to stop.
You stopped at the Taco Bell in Brookings?
Yes.
When?
When I was driving back from Sioux Falls on Monday night.
That's when I stopped at the Taco Bell, Brookings Taco Bell, on the way home from Sioux Falls so that would have been our trip.
Saturday or Sunday? Oh, on the way back from our trip.
Right,
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I'm just saying, I was just at that Taco Bell.
Yes, and so I did the same thing, and I don't know why I'm surprised by this, but I got the quesadilla, the chicken quesadilla. It's like the perfect. Yeah. It's like the perfect shittiness. Like I know it's not amazing, but it just does what it's supposed to do well.
Oh yeah, I like the quesadilla.
But it just blows my mind that quesadilla, a drink, and that tiny little taco is like $10.70. Absolutely blows my mind. That is
for like the shittiest possible fast food you could get.
That can't be more than like, I don't know, 8 ounces of food. It's not that much food.
Yeah.
And I just could not believe that's how much that thing. My wife was like, oh, you thought that would be cheaper than that? I'm like,
oh, the quesadilla is also tiny.
Oh, there's nothing to it. Yes.
Like there's no, like you could fold the 4 pieces into one piece and go eat it in 2 bites.
Yes. There's nothing to it.
You could. And you could almost wad that up and eat it in one one bite if you wanted to try.
You totally could. And the same thing, the taco, there's nothing to those either. But
Right.
I always remember not that long ago, the charming thing about Taco Bell was it was just like this little experimental
cheap.
taco kitchen that was cheap.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you want to get these burritos? They're like $2 a piece. You want to get this thing? It's $3. You want to go crazy? Then this thing is $5.50. And now the damn quesadillas meal is almost $11. That's insane.
My go-to there, typically, I go there very rarely, but like when I was there, I remember, and I'm always like, oh, what do I order? And then I always get the same thing because I don't really know what to get, and I always get the same thing. I get one of those quesadillas, because is there a steak version of that quesadilla too?
There probably is. I don't know. I don't.
So I think I get
enough
the
to
steak
know.
version of that quesadilla, and which does taste good. Small though.
It's got the
and then I get a
seasoning down.
Beef Crunchwrap Supreme. I always used to like those, and I ate that. I mean, he ate the whole thing, but I'm like, it tasted a little bit like someone threw up in it, and like and I'm just like, I think that's just what Crunchwrap Supremes taste like now. So I don't think I'll be ordering any more Crunchwrap Supremes. I don't like I like lettuce and tomatoes and stuff in Mexican food, but I just don't feel good about the fixins that Taco Bell is putting inside of theirs.
I'm typically not a fan of lettuce and tomato in my Mexican food, and I'm really not a fan of it when it's in a fast food scenario. Fast food lettuce, Mexican fast food lettuce and tomato never quite does it for me.
And I think that's part of the throw up taste of the Crunchwrap Supreme. I think.
Yeah, that'll do it. It's so easy. It can go bad easy.
Yes. Oh, so that was the Taco Bell. Okay,
that was my Taco Bell news. Yes.
So, okay, yeah. Just funny that we've both eaten at that same Taco Bell. Then, like,
maybe I subconsciously had it in my mind that you went there, so
Right.
I had to go. I could.
Right. Okay. Should we do a little supporting our supporting members?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Supporting our supporting members is a relatively new segment of the podcast where we have supporting members that support Massenomics, that support Tommy and I. And we like to give back to them. Some of the ways we give back, there's a discount code they get. They get exclusive access to our online Discord community, which is filled with like-minded individuals. You get to get in there, get in that action. That's a big, huge perk. We do these occasional mailers where we send every supporting member kind of a cool, unique item that nobody else gets. We've actually been working on ideas for what the next one,
man.
what and when the next one is going to be.
So we don't want to give away too much too early. But
If the thing that we are roughly planning on now, if we can do it, it will be the best one ever, and everyone will love it. and
you will be the envy of your friends, family, and coworkers.
Yes. So but that's still a little ways off. We're in the early stages of that plan. And then another thing you can get for being a supporting member is you could get a shout out here when we shout notable things out each week. So this week, Big Dutch Matt, he set a new house PR, much like you're going to be setting a new house PR here soon, Tommy. Big Dutch Matt set a new house PR. Congrats on the move. I think he's still officially Dutch. I guess I don't know where he moved
Dutch.
to,
That was what everyone wanted to know. Is he still Dutch?
Yeah, I think he's still Canadian Dutch.
Does he still have a bike?
Yes. I hope he didn't have to sell the bikes in order to get the house.
Maybe he had to offer it as collateral.
I don't think Matt. I don't think Dutch Matt is getting rid. I don't think Dutch Matt is getting rid of those bikes.
They're like, you have to use your bike as collateral because they're like, they know no one can.
No one has cars. Yeah. Big Matt H set a new family size PR. Grew the family by an additional one. So congrats on the new baby boy. And then Big Cam of Cock Sauce set a new family size PR with the birth of his child also. So a lot of new crew babies coming every week, it seems like. If only Massenomics sold something for all these small children.
Man.
Who knows? Maybe crazier things have happened. Maybe that'll happen someday.
There's a business opportunity right there.
Yeah, something could happen there. And then last, of course not least, Big Matt Cesney was the guest this week on the Unpaid and Underrated podcast. Make sure to go check that out. It was a great listen. I've caught most of it. Matt Cesney said he was an 8 out of 10 Star Wars fan. And my comment on that is if he's an 8, I do not know who the hell could possibly be a 10. because he knew stuff. Actually, I like Star Wars, but after listening to what he knows, I would say I'm a 2. I'm a 2 if I'm lucky.
To it.
Yeah, and if he's an 8, I don't know who a 10 is. You'd have to be walking around in a Star Wars costume all the time, I think.
You would have to be Anakin Skywalker.
Yes, it is a great episode, so go give that a listen on Unpaid and Underrated.
Our guest has arrived, Tanner.
Okay.
Do you want to read an ad? I'll start kicking
I'll
people
read an
out.
ad while you give everyone the axe.
And he just left, so
Oh.
maybe he'll come back in.
Okay.
I'll start booting people though.
Yeah. Okay, and I'm going to read a quick ad while we're doing that. I would like everyone to check out Build Fast Formula. Are you tired of supplements that just don't work? Well, you don't have to be anymore because we got Build Fast Formula. You know, you're taking your usual supplements before you had Build Fasts. They're underdosed, contain fillers. They got cost-cutting compounds and proprietary blends, but not Build Fast Formula. Our fellow South Dakotans at Build Fast, they're making high-quality product formulas that contain clinically dosed, research-backed compounds with no unnecessary fillers, so you can build towards your goals faster and finally feel a difference in the gym. And if you want to save some cash, use discount code Massenomics there when you check out. That'll save you 10% at buildfastformula.com when you use that code Massenomics. And if you want to save even more, you get an additional 10% off your purchase if you sign up for a subscription while you're checking out. Again, that's code Massenomics, 10% off, buildfastformula.com, another great, amazing South Dakota company. Thank you, BuildFast.
And I'm going to let him in right now.
All right, we've got big Micah Marino joining us this week. We're excited to get you on. We've got a bunch of stuff we want to talk to you about. Of course, the biggest thing coming up here, you've got a little, kind of a little powerlifting meet you're putting on, right? You know, nothing too important, but yeah. So what's the details on the American Pro? How far are we away from it? Is it like are you stressed to the max right now? We're that close, or how's it going?
I mean, I'm always stressed, just dabbling in a little bit of everything, but the American Pro is next weekend. It's also my 33rd birthday. Jesus Christ, that was terrible. On Saturday next weekend. So it starts next Friday. It's 3-day event, drug tested, non-tested, the whole shebang. So yeah, man, I'm pretty excited. I'm actually driving there from Las Vegas. I start this Sunday. It's a 36 hour drive.
Ooh. How come you make the drive? We also make the drive for some pretty long lifting events. A lot of times if we're setting up a booth and stuff like that, we make some long drives, but that is a really long one. Why do you do the drive?
So honestly, it just costs.
Yeah.
I mean, all it is time, you know, which I'm fortunate enough that I don't have like a normal 9-to-5 job. I own a gym, I own a clothing company, so I can kind of make it work. And I have people riding with me, and honestly, it's just cost. I have a bunch of stuff I have to bring that would just cost me way too much to, and I'm stubborn and I'm a cheap ass. So I'd rather save money than just spend it just cause I can. And it doesn't make sense.
That's the exact same
And I'm going to
approach.
get content, you know, I'm going to get a bunch of content driving, and I'm going to do my little vlogging and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
So
We do the same thing.
Yep. We take the same approach with the Arnold every year. We drive it because it's a lot to ship all that stuff there. And yeah, it is just, I mean, the time sucks, but you got the stuff, it's safe and it's under your control then.
Yeah. So, and I take my time, I hop gyms, I do stuff like that. And, and I bring one of my GMs with me. He's young, so I get to be a little immature for 3 days. So, hey.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk more about the American Pro. We got quite a bit of questions there, but I've got this little game we put together. So you run Fight or Quit. You're wearing the hoodie right now. Your gym is, I think it's Fight or Quit Gym, correct? In Las Vegas also. Yeah. So we've got a couple little scenarios here.
Okay.
And you just have to tell us if you found yourself in the scenario, would you fight or quit?
I love this game, bro. Let's do it.
So
I'm going to be straight up.
Yeah, so the rules are pretty simple. You can't mess it up, and there's really not right or wrong answers. You get to say what you want, but okay. A black bear tries to enter your cabin at night. Do you fight or quit?
Bro, I'm not, I mean, I think if it was a grizzly bear, I'd quit, but I'll probably.
Well,
fight
we're
one.
getting just answer the black bear. Yeah. Okay. So you fight the black bear.
Yes.
I think that's the right answer. I think that's technically the right answer. Yes, you fight
Let's
the
go.
black bear.
That's by survival skills. That is what they recommend. Is that what you're saying, Taylor?
I think you fight you get big to the black bear. I don't know if you need to throw a haymaker at him, but you want to intimidate the black bear.
Yeah.
Okay, now a grizzly bear walks up behind you while you're fishing at a babbling stream. Do you fight or quit?
I'm going to quit. That's easy.
I think that's right. Yeah. I think when the big grizzly bear shows up, yes, you quit.
It's a lights out. See ya.
Yep. Okay. A hive of bees nest under the eve of fight or quit gym. Do you fight or quit?
What the hell? All right. They explain, bro. I'm like a super meathead. So they Eve. What do you mean?
Well, no, just like they set up a little beehive fight.
Like, you're saying like
forms
under the roof, kind of.
Yeah, like under the edge of the roof.
I mean,
like just like
I'll
the
probably
Eve.
try to fight them.
As long as you're not allergic, I guess maybe.
So
it's
you haven't had
whatever.
that. You've never had that problem in the past, apparently. Then.
No.
Okay.
no
Have you
bees
got-
at fight or quit gym.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever had. No, we don't have bee problems really.
No,
Yeah.
sometimes wasps, which are worse though.
Yeah.
Wasps
Yeah.
are-
Mosquitoes, it's a wrap. I'm
Oh,
quitting.
yeah. You don't
Well,
want to
then
come to
listen
South
to-
Dakota then.
No. Okay, last one. You're on the Strip in Las Vegas. An obviously intoxicated yet seemingly harmless homeless person threatens you on the Strip. Do you fight or quit?
Man, I'll probably just quit because I feel bad.
Yeah, that's probably fair.
Be
You
the
know,
bigger man. Yeah.
if they seem pretty harmless and there's no real threat, it probably makes more sense to quit. I would agree.
I'll probably give them my hoodie.
Yeah.
There you go.
Then they
I'm
don't
quit-
want then they don't want to fight anyways. That's what they call a win-win resolution to that conflict.
kill people with kindness, brother.
Yeah.
You know?
Congrats. I think you did quite well on this week's installment of Fight or Quit.
That's about the only test I'm gonna pass, to be honest. So
Okay, so the American Pro in Virginia, this is year 2.
Yes.
What are you most excited to see this year what are you excited about?
man, there's a lot of things I'm excited for. I mean, I've been in powerlifting for quite some time, so just seeing the changes for the better. But I mean, honestly, these athletes are just like, the lineup is just ridiculous. It's really hard to get, the best of the best under one roof. And I think we accomplished that as good as we possibly can. I know there's been some dropouts, people get hurt. I mean, that's just powerlifting, but seeing some of these athletes really want to, this is just the second year of this meet. So seeing how big it become in just 1 year, as far as production goes, all that good stuff. Like, I'm excited for that too. Just to show some of these athletes, like what we personally think it's about, but honestly, just excited to be under the same roof and adding a drug tested day, non-tested, like literally we hit every avenue you can think of, drug tested sleeves, anything, production, jumbotrons, bars, VIP tables, press conference, Halloween costume party. So like just trying to do it all under one roof. It's extremely stressful. We've been planning this since last year. In July is when we started planning this one. So,
And does it add a lot of complexity to the planning when it's a venue that's on the other side of the country too?
Yeah, that kind of sucks. I mean, I've taken multiple trips over there because they actually changed the venue this year. We didn't, like, the venue got bigger, so that helps us out. But my partner Anna, who owns A1 Digital, we're co-hosts. She's the one who actually found this arena is what it is. It's actually an old movie theater that they gutted out. Now they do like MMA events there. So she's the one that hit me up trying to find someone to actually be like ballsy enough to want to take on something like this. Cause this is before last year, dude. Like, I mean, you guys seen powerlifting change in the last year. Like everybody's doing lights. Everybody's trying to up their production. Like, dude, 5 years ago, that wasn't a thing, bro. Like the biggest the biggest pro meet was in a gym and no one complained about that. Now, if you claim you're a pro meet, it's in a gym, people are going to laugh at you, you know? So it is good to have her, you know, if we need to, cause she lives in Virginia. So if we need to do some type of planning, but knowing that I'm over here and it definitely is a little stressful. Trying to keep the image of what it's like in your brain and doing the layout and stuff like that is, but it's good to have, you know, your co-host there. And that's why I try to get there a week before the event starts, to try to make sure we can do go through the checklist, man. Cause it's not your typical venue where it's one room. I mean, there's a warm-up room that's on a whole other side of the arena. There's bars, there's upstairs area. There's a live stream, like literally podcast. Like it's a lot, dude. Last year it was, I'm less stressed this year, which I don't know if I'm excited or scared of that. I haven't really found that out until I get there. Because last year we didn't have much help, dude. We just kind of jumped in. Like we had less than 10 people like helping us for an event that should have been staffed with over 35 people. We just are like, fuck it, let's do it. So this year we have more help. So I don't know if that's a good thing or like I'm just kind of excited. I really wouldn't say I'm stressed. I'm more like, I want to get it over with. Just to know that it went well. Right. But also like, I'm kind of sad that it's already here, you know, but it is what it is.
Yeah. It's one of those things. It's like when you're a day out, you're like, here we go. And then it's like 3 days go by and you're like, oh, it's done already. Like all that happened that fast.
We planned that for a whole year and it's already over. Damn it.
We can, it's a different level, but we can relate on some level. At least this summer, we hosted our first meet and event, and we really, you know, taking some pages out of what you're doing, even where it's, you know, we're able to bring in a lot of our supporting members of Massenomics that flew in. So we had people coming from like 20 different states and a couple of Canadian provinces, and then, you know, the Friday night before the meet, we kind of have a get together, and then the Saturday night after the meet, we have an after party. So it's not like it ends up being like 2.5 days of events. You know, it's not just the meet that goes with it; it's everything that goes into those 2.5 days. So we kind of can relate on some level, even just putting that together, even on a smaller scale. It's just there's a lot that goes into that.
Yeah, and I don't think people understand what all goes into it, especially when it comes to money wise. You know, I think everyone thinks that these events make tons and tons of money. Last year, we didn't make any money. Right. We luckily broke even, but that's, you know, I think the thing about that is that it, you know, it's like hosting one of the bigger meets. It just allows other cool things to happen, you know? So at the end of the day, it's one of those things. It's like, you have to be super passionate to be able to commit to one of these events, which is why right now, man, you see all these big pro meets come and go because no one really wants to deal with it for more than 3 years, you know? Because it's just like, it's sometimes it's a loss, you know? Sometimes people are losing thousands and thousands of dollars. And let's be honest, none of us in powerlifting are on that level of like, we can afford to lose 100K. Like,
right.
I can't.
To be running a charity, for people to come lift at it.
Yeah, man. It's like and it just comes down to money, man. And that's just the sad part about it is we need a sponsor that is Modelo, Coca-Cola, you know, something like that, where they can tell you, hey, we can lose $100,000. It's not going to affect us, you know? So that's a whole nother story though. Sponsors and stuff like that, you know? Yeah.
Well, you guys also though, we'll probably touch on sponsors more, but like even spectators, like you guys get a pretty awesome turnout for that too, don't you?
Yeah. So last year, believe it or not, like you guys have been a powerlifting meets, like you don't see. I mean, like if you have 200 people, that's like holy shit.
Yeah, and that's what like, at our event. Yeah, we had like 250, and we're like, oh yeah, this is awesome,
dude. Like, that's like crazy. Like that's like you don't hear that at powerlifting meets. You know what I mean? Last year, on the sleeve day, it was we almost broke into 1,000 spectators.
Yeah. Wow.
So you know, I'm hoping that we can. you know, and it was just crazy, man. When Danny Grisby, I know you guys probably know that, was going down for his last deadlift, because we do like the red carpet. Like, it literally looked like it was a concert, because the way they have the arena set up is like, when you're on the platform, dude, there's so many lights around you that as a lifter, you can't see out of it. Literally all Danny said he saw was like, you know, it's like almost like those, when you're at a concert.
Yeah, it's everyone puts their phone lights up, and
the flash. That's literally all he literally looked like. He just said it was crazy. So, that was probably the coolest moment that I had last year, was just like being on the platform, being on the mic, looking up, and I'm just like, I'm not even lifting, and I'm like shitting my pants. I'm like, I can only imagine what he actually felt like, you know. So.
Yeah, that's a really cool experience for those lifters. Then, you know, that is awesome. That's something people remember, and then helps grow it then too, because you know people talk and it's just like stuff that's hard to create in other places when it's not set up like that.
Yeah. The red carpet thing was totally new. Some people were for it, some people weren't. You know, but here's the thing, man. Like, this is a pro meet. You know, power lifters, you know, they want all this pro stuff, they want pro money, but sometimes it's like, all right, well, we got to put you under a little bit of pressure. Like with the live stream crew, dude, you had like the camera in your face walking down the red carpet. This year, the red carpet is going to blow people's minds. It's not actually real carpet. It's you guys have probably seen like WWE, where they have like those digital screens as they walk down.
Mm-hmm.
That's what our red carpet's going to be this year. So it's not even carpet. It's a digital video wall, and it's going to be it's like, dude, it's going to be like The Rock walking down, like, and it's going to be crazy. And it's only for their last deadlift. That's it. At the end of the day. So we're super excited to see that video wall screen of like going down it. So
yeah, that's cool.
So along those lines of like, you know, improvements and changes, like, did you get done with the weekend last year, and did you have a list of like, okay, this is what went great, but then there was like these 10 things that we know we maybe didn't drop the ball, but we know we could make way better? Like, did you have a list like that?
Yeah, so literally like during the event, we were like, me and Anna were talking, and like her team, my team are like, yo, next year, this is like, we like during the event, we're like, yo, if like next year we have to do better at this, next year we have to do better at this. And, you know, as soon as the event was over, like we literally that Monday got on a call. Well, I drove back. So I think it was like that Friday, the next week, we're like, what are the dates for next year? What are we going to do? How are we going to make it better? Because that's the one thing. It's like, once you do something cool, people expect it to be cooler the next year. You know what I mean? Like, that's just the way it is. That's with anything, you know, like,
and even you're going to expect that. Like, just you don't want to go and be like, oh, great. Now that was cool. Let's do the exact same thing next year. You're like, you're not going to be like that.
That. Right. Yeah. So that one of the things was like, all right, well, we're going to imply a drug tested. So now it's like, people keep saying this word like Super Bowl of powerlifting, you know, which whatever, people can say what they want. And I think that's cool to hear. But that's cool. Like, you know, to have drug tested, non-tested, wrap, sleeves. The only thing we're missing right now is like single ply, multiply, and who knows where that goes, you know? But it's like everyone's under one roof, you know? So.
Yeah. Do you have the feeling like when you're there and at the event, you got a lot going on and you're real busy, obviously, but do you feel like you're missing out by not getting in on the action too? Like as a lifter yourself, are you like, like you don't worry about that?
No, I mean, bro, I'll be honest. Like, I'm super selfish, and I'm like, I've always been an athlete growing up, and been in powerlifting, broke a bunch of world records. Like, do I wish that when I was like at my best,
that existed?
Which actually I'm better than my best, but I think the rest weren't that good. Like, you know, like now now everyone's so much better. But it would have been cool to experience that. But being able to be there and be one, like, a small part of putting it together is just like so much cooler for me. Like, the amount of like gratitude that you get after that, of like people that are so appreciative, even spectators, parents, are just like, oh my God, it's so cool. Like, even on the local level for me, dude, like I try to treat my local level meets the same way. Obviously they're not going to be at the arena, but I try to do the lights, to this, and I just try to go that extra mile of like, I'm not going to host a meet that I personally wouldn't sign up for. And I've been to a lot of meets. I've done like 35, 40 meets, and I've done a lot of shitty meets where I'm looking back and I'm like, like you said, I want that lifter to remember my meet. You know what I mean? As soon as they show up, they're like, it's almost like we've almost created a reputation of like our meets are too hyped. Like we've heard that like fighter quit meets are always on level 10. Like it's too much. And I'm like, well, dude, this isn't golf, you know? This is intense. Like powerlifting is intense. And it's just, I just want to make it cooler, you know? So I think, I honestly am right where I feel like I need to be as far as being the athlete or being the promoter. I think it's cool. Yeah. And like, I'm still an athlete. So it's cool to know all the athletes and be like, seeing them in action and seeing them light up is like, is such a cool feeling, bro.
Yet when Tommy and I were talking before, Tommy brought up a good one. I'd be curious to get your take of like, through your first experience of running it last year, did you notice anything that you thought would be like just a really small piece of it, but you're like, that seemed like that's something someone would probably overlook, but we just did this like little thing that turned out really cool. Like anything like that you think of that just like added, little things that add quite a bit.
I think there's a lot of things, like third attempt deadlift song or third attempt selections. Like the amount of people that were so excited for that was like, whoa, adding little things like, this is something that Anna thought of is adding on because we have a 30-foot video wall, adding a digital picture of the lifter. Like, so when they're walking down, they see that stuff like that. Adding, little things like that, making sure, like for me personal, I think the little things are me being able to walk around and checking on the lifters. Are you good, bro? Hey, knowing their names, like, I really wouldn't say that there's like that one little thing that's just like made a huge difference. I just think that we really jotted down a lot of little details. The red carpet, making sure that the sound was good, making sure that the VIP tables were angled a certain way that, the spectators are like having a good time. And that's another whole thing about this event is it's now a spectator friendly event, which is hard to do in powerlifting, Yeah.
Yes, it is.
It is.
And that's one of the huge things we changed from last year to this year is we did sessions.
Okay.
So now you have, instead of an 8-hour event, it's now probably going to be like 3.5, which some of the lifters were upset by. They're so used to a certain standard, which I totally get it. I totally understood them. But if we want to see powerlifting on that next level where we're actually getting money, and I look at it two ways, man. I personally, if people ask me, well, what do you think about powerlifting? Do you think it's a sport or do you think it's a hobby or what? And I say, I don't really know what I think. I think that you can sell it two ways. You can make it shorter, which could potentially be better for the athletes or worse. There's not really a right answer. Every athlete's going to react different. Or you sell it as an event. People say they're not going to sit at a basketball game for 8 hours, but they'll go to EDC for three days. So how do we make that happen? Okay, well, we add alcohol, we add music, we add lights, we add, So I'm trying to fit in the middle of that with like that's where we want the American Pro, where you're happy as a spectator and as the lifters, they're happy as. I'm not trying to make it done in an hour, bro. Like, right. This isn't, in a football season, you get 16 games in a season, man. You're not doing 16 powerlifting meets. So I don't want to focus like a lot of meet directors. And this is no disrespect to them, but a lot of meet directors take pride of how fast their meets get over with. And to me, that's like, so what's your actual goal? Is your goal to make the meet done, get in and get out and not let the lifter enjoy the process, or making sure that you're doing both? I love a quick meet. I hate, them slow lagged on meets, but also like, man, like some people train all year for one event,
Right.
So.
No, that's a good point.
Yeah.
It seems like, historically we all know the path that's gone on the untested, big meets, the bigger money meets or whatever, we've had a cycle of like these biggest untested meets for a while where it was Raw, Unity, the one in Las Vegas. The Kern. There you go. Kansas City Showdown. A few different ones there, and they kind of come and gone fairly quickly.
Exactly.
They're here for a couple of years and then they're gone. Like, so what do you have to do? Like, what are you doing so that hopefully doesn't happen to the American Pro? Because the American Pro is the big one right now. Like, that's obvious. And how do you make sure that like that continues to be the thing for like the next 3 years?
Yeah, I think going into it expecting not to make money is probably the one thing. Like, trying to tell someone, hey, bro, are you willing to work on something for an entire year and not make any money? But at the same time, is that actually true? Because throughout the year, people might buy a Fighter Quit hoodie. People might buy American Pro swag, so it kind of builds up that hype of like, yeah, you might not make money off that event, but like you're making money because of the event, So, and honestly, it's tough, man. It really is tough trying to, because here, the venue itself is super expensive. The video walls we're doing super expensive. Like last year, we could have profited so much more money. All we had to do was charge for the live stream. Like the live stream is amazing. It's the best live stream you're going to get in powerlifting. We could have charged $5 and we broke 100,000 views last year on YouTube, but we wouldn't have done that. You know what I mean? Like we would have maybe done 30,000, views. And people were like, dude, why don't you charge? Like, here's a great way to make money. I'm like, yeah, one time. But like right now, to get a company that's bigger than any powerlifting company is viewership, dude.
Yeah, they want eyes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Exactly. It's unfortunate. That's the way it is. But if we have 100,000 viewers on YouTube versus 10,000, it's going to be a little bit easier to sell to a company that doesn't actually give a shit about powerlifting.
Right. If you're going to get Snap-on tools to be or like just like I'm just somewhat not
food or beverage company, whatever.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yes. It's
now. Granted, we haven't gotten any of those. I mean, it could take 4 or 5 years, but the goal, like always say, is as long as we don't lose any money, because we can't afford that. But I truly believe that that's how it's actually been, where a lot of these meets are losing too much money, which is one of the things why we don't announce how much money we're paying out, because we don't actually know. We get asked all the time, what are the payouts? What are the payouts? What are the payouts? Last year, we didn't sell the American Pro on payouts. We sold the American Pro on how cool it's going to be. And John Hack, everyone showed up. They had no clue what they're actually getting paid. They didn't even care. They cared. Like, it's hard to get guys like John Hack, these athletes to show up to these meets if you're not giving out a ton of money. But, just like, dude, just show up. I promise you'll love this meet. We may not be able to give out, $100,000, but we're going to give out a little bit of money.
Yeah.
That maybe will pay for your meet, your travel and But,
that makes sense to me, that not selling it on the payouts so much, because that formula hasn't sustainably worked for anyone so far.
Yeah.
That'd be the most important thing. Like, it just,
the problem with that though, is it feels like it turns into a charity event. Like, hey, we got to raise enough money so that we can actually have this meet because we promised this amount of money. And it starts to feel like, well, does every meet have to be a charity, or can they just be like, I don't know, we got the money that we got, and that's what it is. Like, not like we ought to have all hands on deck to just everyone make donations.
Yeah, and this is how I look at it, man. We tell people, hey, the money we get from sponsors, we don't use that to pay for the venue. Every dollar we've ever gotten that's what we paying out. So I don't know what that's going to be until like we could have a last minute sponsorship pull in and here's an extra $5,000, or you know what I mean? So why would be like, hey, we're giving out $50,000. What if we don't get $50,000 in sponsorships? Like,
we're the meat's off. It's done.
Yeah, right.
I'm calling the bank, getting a loan, bro.
Yeah.
So it's just like, hey, we're gonna get as much money possible. We have goals that we want to do. I mean, we didn't even hit our goals for sponsorships this year. But we set big goals from last year to this year, and adding a whole other day the payouts are pretty watered down, to be honest. We're trying to just make sure we can match what we did last year or get a little bit more. Now we're also paying all-time world records. So it's like, bro, it's going to be tough, But another thing we did this year is a little bit different. We did like boxing. The thing we did is we sold spectators. Every athlete that is signed up for the American Pro, they got a coupon code, and we're paying them a percentage of whatever tickets they sell, just like any boxer would do, right? Now, no one's going to make $5,000 or whatever, but
right.
But
it's their piece of the pie, and then it's their incentive to push it too. Like, hey, the more you can, yeah.
And you never know what that leads to. Like we had no idea. I mean, it was crazy. Like seeing some of these athletes get decent amount of like people to use their codes is like, we're onto something. Like this is how Conor McGregor, this is how all them pro fighters get. That's how they make their real money, bro. Like, well, obviously endorsements and all that other stuff, but like you want it, and not only will it help us, but it'll help more spectators show up to watch you compete. You're going to get paid. And all we said is, hey, all you got to do is show up. So if you pull out, you get hurt, you don't get that purse or that, it is what it is, those are little things that we're trying to do to like grow the sport, man. And a lot of people just don't even see that. And it's, to be honest, man, it's hard to get some people to commit to that. And like these pro boxers and MMA people, dude, they're working their, like a Jake Paul, dude, he's working his ass off selling tickets. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's why he's a millionaire. Well, obviously all the other stuff, but I'm just saying like people, and then you'll have people say like, oh, we just want to lift weights. It's like, okay, well, there's other meets out there that you can just go lift weights at. This is a pro. Like we keep using this word in powerlifting as pro. Like, What do you actually want, bro? Like you're not like LeBron James has to do so much shit.
That's anyone not that's just doing basketball.
Yeah. Right. Literally, you have to, as a pro athlete, do you know what you have to like do when you're at the Super Bowl? You can't just show up and do your thing. Like, you have to do shit all month or all week or whatever, the 2 weeks before the Super Bowl, photo shoots, signing autographs. Tom Brady can't just go sit
promotions.
In his house.
Just so much stuff.
Right.
That's why there's so much money in that. And it's not like we're trying to be rude and put a lot of pressure under people, but I mean, hey, if this pressure will eventually get us to where we have a $500,000 purse or something like that, like we're on to something, man. And bro, I've been in the sport since 2007. I've seen so many meets come and go. I've seen so many brands come and go, and I personally am not trying to grow overnight. I just want to be here for a while, so whether I go a little bit each year, as a meet director, as a gym owner, as a business person, I think that's most important. I'm not trying to hit the jackpot. If I do, cool. But if not, if I could just do a little bit better, even if I could stay the same each time, each year, whatever, that's how I look at it. And it could be bad, it could be good, but that overnight success, bro, is, and the way with social media is that overnight success is actually possible if you hit the right people and something happens, man. I mean, you guys see it on TikTok all the time, It's like, sheesh.
But the worst, I mean, it's almost like a curse though, because people get that overnight success and then they think like, oh yeah, this actually isn't that hard. And then, eventually that wave goes away and then the real work kicks in and you're like, oh yeah, no, there is no free rides. And that's when a lot of people tap out.
Yeah. You guys get it, man. You guys been doing it. And, you guys understand, like if as soon as you get comfortable and as soon as you feel like you're the man, you ain't the man, bro. It's a constant grind, bro. Which is why there's sometimes I'm like looking in the mirror, bro, and this is like personal and whatever, but I'm a super open dude. It's like, man, a 9 to 5, sometimes that shit sounds nice, dude. Like
definitely pros and cons. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But that freedom of being able to kind of, I don't want to say do what you want because I'm not a millionaire, but just being able to show up at a place that you own, you know what I mean? Like it just feels different,
You're not
but it's
to
stressful and it's hard.
Yeah. No, absolutely. You guys get it. We have another game. This one we play. We kind of, if you couldn't tell, we kind of made up Fight or Quit for you. That was a special one for you, but we've got a different game we play with everyone, underrated or overrated. And what we do there is we got a set of topics that we pick for you, and it's just your job to decide if each one's overrated or underrated.
You guys are trying to get me canceled on it.
No. You'll find
No,
that
I'm kidding.
usually everyone enjoys this game. By the time they get through it, they're like, I get what's going on here.
Yeah.
So you just pick. You just can't ride the line. You can elaborate as much as little as you want, but you got to actually decide if each thing is either overrated or underrated.
Let's go.
So overrated or underrated Ford Motor Company.
God, you guys are so smart. I worked there. I worked for Ford. I would say they're overrated.
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
Okay.
I mean, they're rich, so
Yeah.
Are you
drive
still a Ford guy to this day?
Yeah, do you drive Fords?
I drive a Dodge right now, to be honest.
Okay.
I've driven Fords, but
Yeah.
I like the aesthetics inside the Dodge better than a Ford.
Okay.
Not really a huge car guy. I can't change an oil, so
No, that's fair. Okay. Overrated or underrated Las Vegas buffets?
I would say they're underrated. I honestly don't go to them.
Yeah.
They're too expensive.
So you're not bulking off of Las Vegas buffets or anything like that.
Nah.
That's
Do
more
you
of a
ever-
tourist thing, I
As
suppose.
like a resident even of Las Vegas,
Yeah.
do you ever make your way over to the Strip? Like, does that ever happen?
I just did a photo shoot there for our company, but no, we try to stay away from it. I mean, I have bad knees, so walking's just not fun for me.
Yeah, you
but
don't want to walk 5 miles down the strip.
I mean, I
Yeah.
will be honest, bro. Sometimes it's like, holy shit, like the strip's right there. Sometimes it's nice to go see it, but then once you get down there and you realize how dirty it is, you realize how much traffic. Like you're just like,
Yeah.
all right, it was cool. I'm out. So.
But you're a St. Louis guy originally, right?
Yeah.
Overrated or underrated Nelly?
Yo. He's not. He just is who he is. You know what I mean? It's I wouldn't say he's definitely not overrated. I wouldn't say he's underrated either, because he's popular. He's the man. That's a tough one, man. But I would say he's not overrated. So I guess underrated would be the thing.
He's had a surprisingly long career.
Dude, he has. But he also, I'm from St. Louis, so I know, seeing him in clubs, growing up, I was big into hip hop, took dance classes, seeing him in clubs, he's actually, not a dickhead,
Right.
So, if you saw him, you'd be like, hey, what's up, man? Nelly, what up? St. Lunatics, where's Murphy Lee? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But also he, opened a school, and, I know it's probably a write-off and whatever,
But still, yeah.
yeah, he was cool.
Yeah. All right, that's good. Overrated or underrated Table Talk?
Table Talk.
Dave Tate, Table Talk. We and I asked because
You
I think
guys.
you were there. We must have not missed you very much. I think you were just a few weeks before us when we were there, so we just missed you.
No, I think I would say, I mean, they got a lot of subscribers, dude.
They do. They do have a lot.
Surprisingly, you know what I mean? From being a multiply, I've done multiply myself,
Right,
but
right.
knowing how dead, and I don't mean to disrespect anyone because I love powerlifting, but knowing where multiply is right now, I would say that they're underrated. Dave Tate is extremely cool, bro.
Yes, he
awesome
is.
dude. I love what he does. Being on his podcast was it was out of the blue, dude. I went down there for the Arnold to coach an athlete, got invited to come train, and he was just yeah, we'll reach out. And I just okay, whatever. Then they did, and I was that'd probably be the only podcast that you're gonna travel to. It was just a cool experience, man, and it made me feel very appreciative of my sport and knowing how knowledge he is. But as far as overrated, underrated, I would say it's a little underrated. I know he has a lot of subscribers, but
It's really good. Yeah.
It's for a reason.
Yeah.
I think the knowledge in it and the questions that he asks are really to help powerlifting. You know what I mean? It is a powerlifting podcast, 100%.
Right.
Yeah. And it was cool, dude. The setup was cool.
Yeah, it is.
It was. I was not expecting it to be 4 hours, but I love that because I was like, bro, you have content for 2 years. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. Whatever. I'm still mad at it because I painted my nails and they fucking posted a video of me and everyone was like, I was like trying to educate these kids and all they could talk about was I'm pulling sumo my fingernails. I'm like, dude, I'm so much cooler than you. Why are you worried? I was like, so one kid said something about I'm like, yo,
of course though. I mean, that's the internet.
Yeah, they gotta find something.
I was like, thanks, dude. The views just kept going up, and I'll reply to them because I know how to the engagement. I'll be like, yo, yeah, get your nails done, and also don't forget to pull the slack out of the bar, because that's what the video was about. Like,
right,
whatever. So, but
okay.
Yeah.
I know you're repping the Las Vegas Raiders hat, and goes a little bit against this, and this is the last one. It all kind of comes down to this on overrated, underrated. So, overrated or underrated, your uncle, Dan Marino.
Growing up, I would literally tell girls that. I was at his house, like, bro, the lies would get bad. Until I got caught in one, and then I fucking. I honestly, I never watched him. But if I had to guess, he was probably overrated.
Yeah, he had he was a big stats guy at the time. I mean, never won a Super Bowl. Obviously, it was a little before.
Yeah, so that would be overrated. He's not a champion.
Right.
I don't know, but honestly, this Raider hat was a gift. So I don't even watch football. So it just goes with my hoodie. So I'm a poser.
It's just a good
look.
I'm
a poser, dude.
Yeah. You never had any run-ins with Deuce Gruden there, have you, by chance? Okay.
Trains at my gym. Yeah.
Oh,
does he?
Okay.
Oh,
yeah,
awesome.
Awesome, dude.
Yeah, he's a really good guy. We've gotten the chance to talk to him a decent bit over the last couple of years, like at the Arnold and stuff like that. And he's a really good dude. Is he still strength coach for the Raiders too?
Yeah. Yeah. I think this is his last year. I don't want to really go into detail. I don't know much, but I think he could stay or nothing. He trains at my gym when he's not in season. Super humble dude. You would never guess he hangs out with NFL players all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but and he's a fucking tank. Dude.
Oh, insane.
Yes, he is.
He's just a meatball, bro. Just stacked and it just he's cool, dude. Yeah. He gets, he'll give me tickets and stuff to the games and stuff like that. So he's a super cool dude.
Yeah. Yeah, we've had nothing but really good experiences with him too. Is really fun at the Arnold a couple years there. Has he competed at all lately, or is he competing again anytime?
So I think the last thing he did was Powerlifting American Nationals. He was trying to go to Sheffield and Worlds. He had tore something in his hip. Right now he doesn't do much in season, so right. I hope to see him compete after. I think that's why he went to Powerlifting America instead of USAPL, just because they switched up their nationals and stuff like that. Because now USAPL Nationals is literally mid-season, dude. September, so
that doesn't work for him. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so if anyone's listening, we got a whole bunch of powerlifting fans that listen to this. If they want to know, either A, maybe they live close or they want to travel in, how do they go to watch the American Pro? Or B, live stream details. What do people need to do to be able to watch the live stream? Where do they need to go? What do they need to check out?
So if you're following the American Pro page, myself, Fight or Quit Gym, A1 Digital, it'll all be blasted all over that. But it will just be on YouTube. We have a YouTube page called the American Pro on YouTube, so that will be on there. As far as going there, it's in Manassas. It's called the Salisbury Stadium or Salisbury Arena. I'm sorry. The address is in our bio on the American Pro page. I'm always open to DMs too. DM me and I can give you guys links and all that good stuff. But the live stream will be free. It'll be a cool live stream. We'll have commentators on there. We'll have super exciting stuff going on. Super detailed, where you guys can actually watch and know what's on the bar, who's lifting, a little bit of sound. We might also, this is something we are trying to figure out how to do it, but we might mic up the platform. We're still testing with it to see, but it'd be cool if we did that.
Cool.
Not the lifter, but the platform itself. where you can hear the spotters yelling the weight, hearing the lifter breathe, that would be pretty cool. So that's another little detail we're trying to work on. But we want to make sure it's like policy wise and stuff like that. It's not going to cause any issues with YouTube. You know how they have their guidelines. Like last year, we kind of got screwed. They flagged the music from the background and they took us down for like a week, bro. Like right after the American Pro, dude. Like it sucked, but we were able to get it back. So it's just trying to figure out the guidelines and all that good stuff,
Yeah, who's gonna win best overall lifter?
So from a meet director standpoint, that's tough to say.
Yeah, you might not want to, even if you got an idea.
I do know that the girls' day, the girls are going to be like, we have at least, I want to say 5 girls that will all deadlift well over 600 pounds. We have two or three girls, maybe we have 5 to 6 girls that will all squat over 630. Like we're talking the 165 women's weight class rap battle is hands down the most like stacked weight class that's ever been. You have Christy Hawkins, 7+ dot score. You have Brianni Terry. Well, she just pulled 622. Like it's stupid. Then you have Denise from, I want to say she's from another country. I'm not sure where. I think it's Germany. I don't want to fucking be wrong. I hope I'm not wrong. But she just pulled 628. It's like, what the fuck, dude? These like it's stupid. Then you have Chrissy just squatted 683. Like, bro. And then you have in the 181 division, you have Hunter Henderson going head to head versus Samantha
She's
Rice.
benching like 3 plates every time I see
bro, it's out of control. And then on day one, we have the 2 heaviest all-time pullers going head to head. You have Sarah. She did my meet actually a few months ago, pulled 640, pulled the highest deadlift across the board. Burrs, Tamara Welcott. So they're
got
going
to see
head
her
to head.
lift in person, and she does a good job getting the crowd. She's a crowd favorite too.
Man. It's crazy. It's crazy. The guys are like right now, bro. Prime time. If you're not a 600 dots, honestly, at one point the prime time was like 565 dots didn't get you into prime time, which is like stupid. A 500 dots 5 years ago, you were a dog. Which I'm not taking anything away. I love, like, if you're a 500-pound dot score, I personally still think you're a dog. I'm just saying at this level of a meet, I just saw
it's not going to get you to that level.
Yeah. I just saw a post by Micah Marino. He basically said, if you're not fully like over 600 pounds, like you're not going to place at the American Pro, which is like 600 pounds. It's just crazy to know where the sports has gone in the last couple of years, man. It's crazy. So as far as the winner goes, I don't care who wins. I think we all have our predictions of who's going to win. I mean, John Hack's always a favorite. I mean, he's got the highest dot score. You got Blake LaHue, who's crazy. Dude's talking about total in 2,000 or 2,200 pounds at 190. You Chad Pinson. You have, Joanne Garrison. You have Danny Grisby, who's like potentially going to pull 1,100 pounds. Like it's honestly, bro, I don't care who wins. I just hope they all like execute. And I know, like, knowing this event and I'm sure there's a lot of pressure going into the event. There's been a lot of people getting hurt, a lot of people pushing the limit, just because they know the production level of this event. I don't think it's because of the money, because none of them have heard. This is one of the reasons why I love the American Pro, because like they don't know how much money they're going to make or lose. They just know that this is the fucking show, bro. Like they are showing up because how cool it is, and everyone's showing up. So that, to me, that's so much cooler than how much money, they potentially could make. It's cool to see these people like fucking push, and they could make no money. We could literally be like, hey guys, sorry, we ain't giving any payout. But I mean, obviously that's not going to be the case. That's an easy cancel. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't care who wins, bro. I just hope everyone does really, really well, and it just has a good time. And I'll be going crazy. I'll be going crazy the whole weekend.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we're excited to see it ourselves and watch, and we think you're doing a kick-ass job putting this together. You know, it's like if you're not doing it, then who is, and what do people have to, you know, what is there if there isn't this, you know, right now too. So keep up the good work. We appreciate it, and glad you came on and talk to us about it. I think it's good stuff.
Yeah, man. No, I appreciate you guys having me on. I've always, you know, I like your guys' shirt. I've actually seen you guys at the Arnold. I've never actually got to meet you guys just because you guys always have like a ton of people and I don't like lines and stuff like that.
Will you be at the Arnold Will you be at the Arnold?
I will be. Have a lady competing in the USAPL event.
Right.
So
stop.
Yeah.
If
Swing by.
Yeah. Because we're kind of tied to our booth most of the time, so we don't get around very much. But if you have a spare minute, stop by. I'd like to meet you in person too.
Yeah, man, absolutely. And it's just, this is just always one thing that I always like to clear up on podcast. You know, I appreciate when you say like, we love what you're doing, but from someone who's always been a center of attention growing up with sports, and I love being the face, and I love being like the center of attention. Like I wish I was as good as John Hack in powerlifting because it was so cool. But like the amount of support that we get from like our team, a lot of the times the credit gets put on me because I'm on the mic, I'm talking, I'm doing this. But honestly, man, I'm just a meathead that loves the sport. And if I didn't have the people that I have for Fight or Quit or A1 Digital, I would be lost, bro. I can't spell, can't read, but I mean, I love powerlifting, and I just got lucky and found the right people, you know? So I want that to be well known that it's not just me. We have a really good group of people that are truly have the same goals. And I think that's why the American Pro is what it is.
All right. Sounds like you're taking all the credit. Nobody else is doing anything. That's
you know what?
Yeah.
Fucking edit all that out.
Yeah.
Hey,
We're cutting it.
I am the American Pro. I'm winning that. Nah, I'm kidding.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate it. This is good stuff. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks a lot, Micah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys.
See ya.
Yeah.
Cool beans. Cool beans. Cool beans.
There it is.
Give him his cool beans there.
You got him.
Couple sets of American Pro cool beans.
American Pro served cool beans.
Yeah.
I better read an ad right away.
Let's hear a little ad.
Behind the
ad 8 ball.
Yes. In 1995, Maurice Big Mo Huffman founded Swisslink. That's right. This episode is brought to you by Swisslink, with the mission to bring authentic Swiss Army goods to the United States and into the hands of those yearning for quality gear at uncompromised prices. Now, for nearly 3 decades, Big Mo has been traveling far and wide in search of the best military force items around the world. Big Mo doesn't only find authentic military clothing for Swisslink, he brings in everything you can imagine, from Swiss bayonets to Czech microscopes. Swisslink.com is also home to the Swisslink Classic Wool Blankets. They're an ideal mix of 80% wool and 20% recycled fibers. It's that special blend that provides a soft, luxurious feel while maintaining all the benefits of wool. Wish you could wear your wool blanket around year-round? Well, now you can with the Swisslink Classic Wool Pants. That's right, wool in your freaking pants. Swisslink's exceptional collection and dedication to quality customer service distinguishes them from the rest. Enjoy a 15% discount on your next purchase, like wool pants or one of those fancy sandbags, storm bags.
Yeah, or 2 pairs of wool pants, or
2
3
pairs of wool pants, storm bags, maybe both of them together. Throw those in your cart at Swisslink.com. Enter code MASS, M-A-S-S, at checkout to save 15%. That's code MASS, saves you 15% at Swisslink.com. Thank you, Swisslink.
Thanks, Swisslink. Tommy, did you see that Nike's getting into the strength equipment game?
I did actually right
Kinda big
before the
news.
podcast. I saw Barbend had a post about it, and then what was the account, or is the brand actually called Nike
Strength? Yeah, Nike Strength maybe.
I mean, you can never bet against Nike because they have almost unlimited money. So
Basically,
I don't think people
right.
I don't think people get that in the strength company world. I mean, does Rogue, are they like the next comparable company where
That's
you say
what
they
I
have
would
like
guess,
unlimited
right?
money,
But not Nike money.
and Nike has to be significantly bigger than Rogue.
Right.
Like there's no way around that. So I mean, Nike, it just depends on how bad they want to. Like if they wanted to just go nuts they could. They could pay people tons of money and throw money at the problem. I mean, they could solve the problem with money, literally, if they wanted to. I do wonder though, I guess it just comes down to like how bad they want to be in the space. I do, is it because what's also weird about Nike though, like when I have multiple Nike stories that when I think back on, like one example would be probably probably like 2004-ish, Nike got into skateboarding. They came out with Nike SB. And it was all like, oh, they're not a skate company. That's the Jock brand. Screw those guys. And now they're the biggest skateboarding company shoe out there. I mean, there's still some of those core brands, but Nike's huge. Like they're Nike Dunks, Blazers, all that. Like it's enormous. Like, and there's so much hype around all those shoes. And you know what they did? They came in, they paid all of the absolute best pros to be on their team. And it's like, oh yeah, no, we got the best team. And everyone's like, all right, they got the best guys and those guys wear those shoes. So I guess, it's cool to wear those shoes. I guess I'll buy their shoes too. Yep. Yeah. And that's totally how it went. So like they came in, they had enough money to just blow up that, and they've had longevity and they've stuck around and they've been a part of that industry. But then like you look at it on the flip side of things, like Nike Golf was huge for a while. They had Tiger Woods, all that stuff. Nike Golf is not a thing anymore. They exited that business, which that one, it's kind of surprised me because it feels like if you can't make golf work, which is a sport that is intentionally expensive, has so much money behind it.
Stuff.
And
it is literally just people buying stuff.
It is just gear.
There's a sport, but it
is a sport, but goddamn,
it's clothes, it's balls, it's you're constantly updating your equipment.
And it's not like some people would say, well, that's what gyms are. Well, but not everyone has a home gym. Like you can be a member of a gym and just go to a gym and show up with nothing.
Well, and that's what most people do.
And that's how most people are. Yes. Right. You can't be like into golf and not actually invest some money into golf gear.
Right.
And if you're serious, you're going to invest more money than the person that's not. So, but they couldn't make that work for whatever reason. I didn't really read into that one too much, so I don't know what the specifics of it are, but I mean, they're a business. I would assume it wasn't making them the money they wanted it to. So that is where now you look to present day with the Nike Strength. What's a little odd for me is the positioning is that Nike sort of already is like a company that people wear to work out. So they kind of have like made a new brand segment for something that they kind of were doing already.
Right.
And I hate it when companies like to just make brands for the sake of making brands because it does get confusing. So it's like, oh, go into the gym today. What are you probably going to see people wearing? Probably Nike stuff. Any gym in America. Now, do they need to go buy Nike Strength stuff? Like, and then like Nike Metcons, is that what their shoe is? The Metcon? I can never remember their CrossFit shoe.
Yeah, I think so.
I think like
if not.
Does that come out under the Nike label or the Nike Strength label? Like it starts to get confusing now with all that. So,
or is it just equipment?
Or is it just equipment? Yes, that's that same thing. But then where do you draw the line in equipment? Is it anything that you can wear on your body? Is that part of just Nike apparel and that doesn't get the Nike Strength line? Like, is it just hard good items that you use for training that fit there? So I am really curious to see what they can do. Like I said, they have unlimited money, so they can do whatever they want. It just depends on how serious they want to, how much money they want to throw at the problem.
Right. I think the skateboard example you brought up is a really good example, and there's a lot of parallels to this because me as someone that buys a bunch of strength training equipment currently, and I know all the companies that I feel like are like, no, these people know what they're doing. They know what they're making. They know that they are the market. Mm-hmm. And then Nike comes in, and my first instinct is Nike. I don't need to buy a barbell from Nike. I'm going to go buy it from the three companies. I'm going to go buy it from Texas Power Bars, the Strength Co, Rogue Fitness. Yeah. I'm going to buy it from the companies that I already know are like the core brands. Space. Yeah. Right. And I'm like, if I want a dry fit t-shirt that doesn't say Under Armour on it, I'll buy it from Nike. That's, or like if I want a pair of shoes, basketball sneakers, I'm going to buy them from Nike. But like I see their dumbbells and all that, and I'm like, to me right now, I'm like, that stuff's crap. Like it's probably made nice. It's probably isn't crap.
But that's what
I'm like, no, that's crap. I don't want a dumbbell that says Nike on it.
Well, and that's what I thought. I thought it looked cheap right away. Like when I look at the stuff, I'm like, and that part of is sort of the problem.
But it's like
with strength training
kind
stuff.
Yeah, it's like that's not the stuff we like.
Yeah, and so that does depend. Like, is Nike Strength? Is this a brand that's more just? it's not just Nike, but it's for people that take like strength training a little more seriously, because this is also the problem they're going to have is Nike's brand. I don't know if they have a successful department in the company that isn't based heavily on endorsements. You know, like that has been Nike's bread and butter.
That was
since
the Michael
day one.
Jordan model.
Yes, like that,
at least since Michael Jordan.
Like they, they pioneered that model, and that's how every space is. Like just whatever sport, they have some of the absolute biggest names in it. But where people, I mean, whether they want to admit it or not, one of the biggest problems with strength sports is that for the most part, the biggest names in the sport are openly on steroids, and that creates a marketing problem for any major company in the world. And if you don't realize that, you're an idiot. You don't get how this works. But that is a significant problem, is that it's really, really hard to have endorsement deals with athletes that are openly on steroids when all of your other athletes have to play by a different set of rules. So I'm very curious how that part will play out for them.
Yeah, I agree. And it is also funny too. They've obviously been doing their homework on Rogue. They probably know Rogue Fitness's business. You know, there's people that work at Nike right now that probably know Rogue's business almost as well as Rogue does, too.
Sure, yeah.
Like, I mean, that would be the first person they're doing homework on, I assume, in my mind. But so even though I said all those negative things that I think about Nike's equipment, then you bring up the skateboard example and you make the comment, they have all the money. They could sell their stuff for Nike doesn't sell things cheap. That's not what they're going to do. But they can do whatever they want. If they want to squash people, they probably, as much as anyone, like could make a go at squashing people too.
Mm-hmm. But
so I wonder. I'd like to know, like Bill Henninger at Rogue, what their conversation was in the office today. Like, what if they're like, I wonder if they're like, no chance, or if they're like, oof, we better watch out for this.
Well, and I do wonder, because one important distinction with the Nike thing is that they really did basically stay into the shoe and apparel game. They didn't enter the hard goods space of skateboards, trucks, wheels, all of that. As far as I know, they've never had a part in that. So that also is a little different because they are playing the equipment game now.
They know shoes.
They know shoes and apparel. They have every manufacturing technique in the world at their disposal. But also, sometimes people in like the serious strength world, like being overly fashionable isn't something they're concerned about. Like,
right, right. It's not.
And also, like, people don't want to wear $80 t-shirts when they're going to go lift with a barbell because, all right, my $80 t-shirt got shredded under this barbell. Like, it's not how that works. So I'm super curious to see, like, anytime you have a major company with unlimited options and getting into a space, what way they're going to take it. I'd love to see it. I
just feel like the equipment, my gut feeling, the equipment's all going to be overpriced stuff that they're, it's not going to be high level equipment that someone like us wants to buy. It's going to be, are they going to get into manufacturing barbells?
That's a great question. That is a great question. And Nike isn't exactly.
Or are they going to take someone else's barbell that makes and right now that makes a.
Yes, because I don't exactly think of Nike as the white label company. Like, I don't think they like to buy other people's stuff and then throw their logo on it.
No, right.
But I don't know if you know this, Nike isn't exactly known for their Made in America.
Right.
They tend to have a pretty extensive track record of items made in China to maybe a negative to their detriment even.
And in gym equipment space in particular, Made in America becomes
is fairly important.
Puts the premium stamp on it.
It does, like
by default.
It's very hard to justify paying a premium for anything if it's not made in America when it comes to hard gym equipment, like the heavy duty gym equipment. There's certain things people don't care about, but I don't think Nike's going to like be reinventing the urethane dumbbell world or like urethane band world. I just don't think there's enough of a marker for people to really care about that. But again, at the same time, like, I don't know how.
Maybe they do. Maybe some executives there do want to do, I don't know. Like,
or maybe like, is the strength brand, is it positioned more as like a CrossFit competitor? Like, are they competing more in that space? And like, no, we don't care about, we're not trying to make actual weight plates. Like, we'll make kind of the cheaper bumpers but we're not going to worry about barbells and weight plates. Like, we'll have I don't know. It'll be very, very interesting to see how this plays out for them.
You know who they won't be able to compete with, in my opinion?
Who's that?
The Strength Co. They won't be able to make better Made in America Olympic iron barbell plates. You know why? Because nobody makes better made in America Olympic iron barbell plates than the Strength Co. You can check them out at thestrength.co. They've got the go-to plates of Massenomics Gym are these iron plates I've just been touting right here. They're smooth, easy to grip. They got a deep lip that makes them easy to grab. They got that E-coat finish that pops. It looks great. It wears great. We've had thousands of pounds of Strength Co. plates in Massenomics Gym for multiple years now, and they still look awesome. That E-coat finish is durable. It's made to last. They have that 1.99-inch inner diameter that makes it fit snugly on the bar. Can't say enough about the Strength Co. Nike, good luck catching the Strength Co. Check them out, thestrength.co.
Damn. Okay. I should have even looked more into this. I didn't realize they actually have barbells and stuff out right now.
I think there's barbells. Yeah.
Yes,
I don't know if you can buy them yet, or is it?
Yeah. You can add to cart right here.
Yeah.
They have Nike coated premium barbell, 20 kilos, $325.
Yeah. The price is right. Actually, it's not,
and okay. So cause I saw in the post, I just saw dumbbells and kettlebells and I'm like, oh, okay. Everyone makes those. That's not, but then they have these Nike rubber bumper plates.
But so what I want to know is who, this barbell, for example, who is making this barbell? I'm curious.
I know. And it doesn't say anything about where it's made either, which is usually on these things.
Look at the barbell and scroll halfway down the page. That's the graphic, where it has the bar length next to it and the diameter. And do you see that?
Yep.
That's the very industry standard way to show the specifications on the barbell. They're hitting that perfectly. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Rogue Fitness is making these, and they're all they
totally
maybe they're making them. That's not impossible. This is a Cerakote barbell with their Just Do It in the center.
And it has all the specs listed: 20 kilo, 86.6 inch bar, 28 millimeter, medium knurl, 8 needle
28
bearing
millimeter bar. Yeah.
Yeah. Which, right? Aren't normal bars 29 millimeter?
Yeah. Power bars are 29, but does this have, what does this have? Yeah. This has
center
dual.
knurl.
No center knurl and dual
and
knurl
they
marks.
do have a squat cage for $950.
Yeah.
And a lot of times on squat cages, it seems like there's little telltale signs of what.
I'm sure somebody that's more involved in this than us will be able to fill us in on this actually.
Right. They'll be able to see some of the design details and be like, this company always does this, and that's how you know.
Right.
Yeah, it is. I see. I did not realize that they had all this stuff. I'm a weight bench, a squat rack, it's like a squat.
Yeah, they've got
stand.
the spotter arms for the rack and the dip attachment, and it's all got the Nike logo in it.
Yeah, and then they have a 15 kilo bar, and then
they've got the equipment. Yeah, they've got the benches, the rolling, and they got rolling weight benches,
the more premium rubber bumper plate. It's not more of the it's not the crumb rubber.
It's like
more of the
urethane.
Yeah,
yep.
I have a picture of LeBron holding it.
Well, there you go. I guess you get LeBron holding it. People are going to buy it. But there again, as of today, people that are in our space now, I don't think that they're buying Nike stuff, but somebody probably, a bunch of people probably went and bought it today, I suppose. I don't know.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I mean, it is an interesting positioning.
Yeah. Because until proven otherwise, I feel like they're posers right now. Kind of is what I think.
I know. They can't. The thing is I could eat these words and I would love to, but they're not going to have Thor be an official. Thor is not going to be an official Nike athlete, right? That's not going to happen, is it?
Well, I don't think you put people that are openly on steroids as a
That's
Nike
what I'm
athlete.
saying.
I don't think you can do that.
I'm not saying they couldn't afford him and that he would do it, but
I don't think you put people that are on that.
I think from their
everyone
brand,
knows,
they just catch too much heat. catch.
But I don't know. I guess has he ever said that he is? Because The Rock is obviously on
true
performance enhancing drugs.
That's a very very good.
And what
point.
is he? Under Armour? Is he still an Under Armour thing? Or what is
I'm
The Rock?
sure.
Or whatever?
He's always been on Under Armour. I don't think that's changed.
And anyone that's not a dumbass knows The Rock takes performance enhancing drugs of some sort. We don't know what he takes, but he does, obviously.
Yeah. I could be totally wrong there. You're right. But I mean, okay. I just say Thor because he's a strong man because that's someone that has pull.
Right.
I love John Hack, but if Nike signs John Hack, 99.99% of the population is like, who's this guy? What? Right.
This
guy's I'm supposed to buy
Thor's
the
are
weights?
Particularly the best example because he also, he has
transcends
his pull out. Yeah,
he transcends everything.
I'm not even sure.
I'm not even sure them if they signed Brian Shaw, would that really even do much for them with the audience they're going after?
I don't know. I feel like no, but I don't know.
I feel the same way. I don't think that when you're talking this gen pop and lifting, I don't think seeing Brian Shaw makes them think I got to buy that now from a brand like Nike, Rogue and someone like that. It makes sense for those companies because it's more in line with a more hardcore audience, but
yes.
But I will be watching this experiment.
Stay
to
tuned
see how
for
this plays
updates
out.
in years to come as what happens to Nike Strength. I'm sure we'll see the Garage Gym guys reviewing their stuff very soon, right?
Probably, and that's
check out Gluck's Gym and everyone. Basement Brandon, he probably ordered a bar. We'll see what all of them. Maybe we should be ordering the Nike barbell so we can tell you the Massenomics
first to
opinion.
review it.
Yeah.
Those guys do though. You're right. They probably have the knowledge to pick apart this stuff and be like, oh yeah, so and so manufactured this one, or this all just comes from some no-name China factory.
Right.
Somewhere.
It's the same China barbell that you could buy from these 5 companies that you could. This one has the Cerakote Nike logo on it.
I mean, this stuff can't be made in America though. It'd be so stupid if they made it in America and they didn't.
Why would they all of a sudden make this in America?
Well, but I'm saying
out of everything.
If this was made in America, they're idiots because they don't mention it anywhere. So why would you it's not mentioned anywhere in the marketing materials, and that'd be so dumb.
It's like you said, why would this be the item? They're like, no, now this we Nike, we're gonna make this in America.
You know how we've made all of our products for $6 overseas, and how we've been in many sweatshop scandals over the years. Now we're gonna take the high ground and come back to America.
If anyone knows how to morally bend the rules on making anything as cheap as humanly possible in foreign countries,
and
I'm sure Nike
at an offensive rate compared to the original
I think
cost.
Nike knows what they're doing there.
Yes, they do.
All that being said, I made a big Nike purchase today. I did make a big Nike purchase today.
Did you?
It's been this has been on my mind for at least 3 or 4 years. I've considered it so many times.
Up tempos?
I bought the up tempos.
What color?
The black with the white trim. I bought them Goat. I bought them from Goat.
From Goat. Okay. Yeah. I was gonna say
but they're new and they're new. They're unused, but I don't know how long it takes to get them because I understand they got to go to Goat first and they have to verify that it's good to go, that it is what it says it is.
I've bought one pairs of shoes like that. I use a different service and the shipping it only took a week. It went really, really fast.
Okay. So we'll see.
Damn. Okay.
You know why I finally pulled the trigger?
I'm almost more interested to know this than the fact that you actually bought the shoes.
This is just as interesting. But
did you win the lottery? Win $1 million? And so you said I'll spend $100 and some on shoes now?
No, that I did almost spend $200 in these shoes, which I'm not proud. I'm not bragging. I'm unproud of myself for doing that. But
that number doesn't surprise me at all, though. I was going to assume 180 would be the absolute bare minimum there. I mean, the retail's 180, isn't it?
I think so, probably. If they had them new, it'd be in that ballpark. But playing a little noon ball, and I realized my selection of shoes is just so prohibitive of anything I can run around a little bit and not probably sprain my ankle in. So I needed an actual basketball shoe, and then I'm like, I could probably locally buy a pair of shoes, and I'm like, then I kind of looked, and I'm like, why am I spending $90 on a pair of shoes I don't like?
I could double that and get something I really
That's why I was
wanted.
like, I might as well get something I actually like.
I think that's the right move.
because I thought maybe I could buy like a pair of $60 ones, and I basically couldn't.
No, yeah.
Like it just my frame of reference of what shoes even cost is just off.
Yeah, $60
You know?
like it doesn't get you anything now.
So I will have the more up tempos, which is going to be a big day for me.
So that is awesome, and that is a big day. Noon ball though, what's the story here?
Well, Darren from
roped
the
you into
podcast,
this?
yeah, Darren, my longtime childhood friend Darren, member of Massenomics Gym, he's come up partying, and you know he's well known in the Massenomics circle.
Yes,
he is. just for his years of he roped me into it. That playing a little noon ball. So
do you think you're gonna get your butt kicked the first? What is there age groups on this at all?
No, it's a very hodgepodge, and it's like it's only moderately competitive.
Okay.
You know, I think, you know, to be determined, I guess. I'll know when I walk
up and down the court though.
Yeah.
In a competitive game.
God, yes. No, that'll kick my ass.
Yeah,
but I'm going to intentionally, because I do have like a competitive streak, but I'm going to temper it back as much as humanly possible and play everything at the most manageable pace as possible for me. And I'm not going to play good defense, and I'm not going to think I need to go for every rebound. And I'm not going to do the things that would like crush me in a real basketball game. Like, no, if I played real basketball, I would like literally 2 minutes of game time, I would be destroyed. And I'm not exaggerating.
You'd be
when
like
I say 2
puking.
minutes.
Your brain, your body would be like, "What's happened? I have to puke this."
It's probably been like almost 10 years since I played City League now, and it was then just as like I'd play like 3 minutes, and if I played hard, I'd be like, "Yep, come in." Like, I am good. I need like at least 3 minutes on the bench to get back to where I could play like, you know, my 3 minutes. You know, I could, but if I dog it, it's not that bad. But if you play hard basketball, that's intense. Yeah. No, that's gonna kick my ass. I'm just trying not to get hurt, and hopefully shoot some mid-range jumpers. I've been practicing the bank shot in the backyard.
Mid-range, I mean, if you watch the NBA though, you know mid-range is just a waste of time. So
I know it's dead, but
either be way back behind the three or be under the basket.
No, for me, the mid-range is not dead because my three-point shooting percentage is just so low that I'm like, you know, I can't.
By default, you have to scoot that
mid-range, I can shoot pretty decent percentage, but if I go behind the arc, I'm not. I can't pretend to be what I'm not, and I've never been a long-distance shooter.
Okay.
You know, I can't masquerade as Steph, even though everyone wants to be Steph Curry.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not Steph Curry. So
awareness is the first step there.
That's exactly right. So to be continued on how
the
more up tempo. So I'm actually going to use the more up tempos though too. They're not going to be you know, I'm not going to run around outside in the mud puddles on the first day, but
they just live on the court. They'll always look relatively nice, but then structurally they might take some damage. So
I'm actually going to use them. Yeah, I feel better about that than, you know, this gave me the justification of the use that I'm like, okay. And then the fact that I was already going to buy a pair of shoes, and you know that I started that's how I started to go down the rabbit hole of rationalizing irrational purchase in my cheap mind.
Yeah, no, I think that's the time to make that purchase. I think I think you did it right.
Yes, strike when the iron's hot. Yeah, and I did go with the more up tempos. You know, I could have went Reebok Kamikaze, and I could have went Shaq Gnosis, and those were a little harder to find. And the more up tempos are generally speaking more aesthetically pleasing, although I particularly like those Reebok shoes. But to a lot of people, they would look at those and be like, well, those are ridiculous. Whereas the more up tempos, they're a little ridiculous in a way, but
everyone's like, okay,
those are cool. Yeah, right.
I gotta check this.
And plus, Big Dutch Matt got them, and it really made me jealous.
Right, that someone living in old Dutch land over there is beating you at your own game.
They can get them. If he can get them for a size 19 feet, I should be able to find a pair.
I just saw this the other day, and I'm trying to get the exact details on it here, but it looks like Shaq is returning to Reebok as the president of Reebok basketball, and Allen Iverson will be the VP of basketball for Reebok. So they could potentially breathe some life back into that brand.
Given Iverson's financial track record, I'm not sure if that's like he's perfectly qualified for that, but maybe it's mostly a placeholder title and a symbolic role because, and also maybe he's turned a chapter, but I know he managed to blow a lot of money.
Yeah, well,
but do you know about the Allen Iverson contract clause that's saving him?
No.
In like a few years, he gets a whole bunch of money. I don't know the details. If you looked up Allen Iverson contract clause, Google something like that, he blew mostly all of his money, if I understand it correctly, but soon stands to get paid out a whole bunch, and I'm not sure if it's from like Denver or a shoe contract deal or I don't know who owes him a bunch of money.
Yeah, I'm
but
just
he gets
looking here. It says, it says, I think it's a Reebok thing. When he's playing for the 76ers, he came to terms with Reebok just 5 years into a 10-year, $50 million contract. Allen Iverson signed ahead of his rookie season. He'd receive less than the $5 million average value per year, but in exchange, he'd be guaranteed $800,000 per year for the rest of his life, in addition to gaining access to a $32 million trust fund on his 55th birthday.
Yeah.
And so it looks like that's a Reebok thing. Damn, that's got to be a lot of money for Reebok nowadays because I don't think they're doing the best.
Right. Well, I don't think Allen Iverson was doing the best, so it's a lot of money for him, too.
Yeah, it says during his divorce, he told the judge he'd spend $360,000 per month while earning $62,000 in the same time period.
Yeah. Shaq, alternatively, I think is a mogul.
Oh,
so
I think he's killing it. Yeah, I think Shaq does really, really good.
Yeah, so that's probly...
But
that's probably their best Hail Mary. I don't know that.
Well, and as far as Reebok goes, though, Allen, you could actually maybe make the argument that as far as Reebok basketball goes, that
Allen Iverson was more valuable.
Was their best line ever. Like his shoes were huge at the time. Everyone had those, the questions and the answers and all those.
Yeah,
God, those shoes were just everywhere at the time.
Yeah, that's interesting. You know, Reebok. You probably can't make Reebok any worse. Either that'll work or. They'll go tits up, I suppose, and someone will buy them out, I guess.
Adidas had them for a long time. I think Adidas kind of ruined the brand. And I think Adidas like sold them in like the last year or so. Because now like Reebok stuff is in Walmart now. So something changed there. Like, and not that there's anything wrong with that. Like I don't think that's bad, but like that does water down a brand from a standpoint when people start to see it in Walmart, it just starts to feel like it's like just people think of it as it's just the generic off the shelf shit. And like then it does hurt your brand prestige for sure.
Right. And in athletic shoes, that's an important part of the brand. That's,
I mean, you could argue that's the most important part, actually.
Yeah. Yes. Really good athletic brand talk on this week's episode of the Massenomics podcast, right?
That's right. Stay tuned for next week where we'll go deep into British Knights. And Fila.
Yeah, Fila. There you go. There's some Filas I like.
They've had their hits and a lot of misses.
I browsed as I was before I made the more up tempo. There a couple Filas just caught my eyes briefly that I really had to think about.
Grant Hill, did he have a signature
Grant
with
Hill.
them?
Yeah, Grant Hill.
I think that's the only one.
That's the only one I know of.
Yeah, I think that might have been honestly one of the only ones that they actually even had. Tanner, I put another thing in here. I was driving back from Aberdeen, and I'm just as guilty as the next guy of only ever listening to podcasts. You know, it's all I ever listen to is podcasts if I have time to listen to something.
I'm very guilty of that.
And I mean, forever, I was the music guy. I had to keep up on everything music-wise, what was going on. I wouldn't be wasting my time listening to talk radio, essentially, is what podcast is. But that changed over the years. And now it's a complete flip where it's like, oh, I got time to myself. Podcasts are on, no music. I'm like, you know what? That's probably not good for my brain to always be just having someone blabbling into it. Because if you're genuinely listening to the podcast,
don't sell it against it too much here. We got people listening.
No, I know. Well, we don't count because I was going to say if someone's saying something smart and educated, we don't do that. Yes. So we're the exception here. But like, if you're really listening to these like in-depth conversations where you feel like you're learning, you got to pay attention. You can't space out.
Right.
And if you're paying attention, you're not ever in your own head thinking about shit.
It's
You're
not a
like
creative.
and I should say, you're not just daydreaming where you're just going places. And so I was on the way back, and I don't know why this happened for whatever reason. It's probably because of Dylan Coates. He probably sends me like 3 Creed memes every single week, and they're all hilarious, every single one of them. And I'm like, I have freaking
the president of North Dakota. For
yes,
anyone that
I have
doesn't-
6 feet from the edge, whatever the hell that song's called. I had that song stuck in my head, and I probably haven't heard that song in like 8 years. Why is that song stuck in my head all the time? So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to nip it in the butt by going right to the source. I'm going to listen to the thing. I'm going to listen to it at full volume, just rocking out, and then I'll be good. And so I go to Spotify and I type Creed in. I'm driving. It's just nothing but me in the open road for 3 hours. I look and I'm like, damn, actually their top 5 songs are all kind of bangers here. I might be busy for a few minutes here. And they're going through. I'm like, damn, like these things hit hard. They still do. They get you going. And what's kind of weird now is listening to Creed is, okay, were they ever, I'll be the first to admit, I don't know really the backstory on Creed or much about them. But was it like, did they consider themselves a Christian band? Or like, was that their thing?
I don't know.
Because what's funny about the lyrics...
That's a really good question.
Because what's changed over time now, like if that music came out now, like then you would be like, oh, they're referring to God in some way.
Right.
Because there's always like they're referring to him and him doing things. Now you would almost, if that came out today, be like, are they gay? I don't know. They're talking about a guy a lot. Like, is this a gay thing that's going on here? Just how the times have changed, with all that.
Right.
But it's funny how
With everything going on,
how the lyrics are always about like this guy and like the positioning of 6 feet from the edge and like holding me and just like I gotta go. Like it's like he's always in like the wrong position is what it is. It's like what I'm taking from the lyrics is like he needs to be physically picked and placed in a different spot. It's like is it Scott? Is that the lead singer's name?
right?
Like,
I think so.
Scott needs someone to like guide him into being in the right spot, and that's what like a lot of his songs talk about. But so I listened to him, I'm like, damn, these are bangers. Okay, I'm just gonna embrace this. And this is a term I did not know until recently. Are you familiar with the term butt rock?
No.
So butt rock fits. It'd be for the most part. I'm no expert on this by any means, but the way I understand it is it fits things that would be like your Creed, your Nickelback, your Theory of a Dead Man, your Hinder, kind of all that,
right.
You could say kind of like post-grunge, 90s, early 2000s rock, Puddle of Mud, all that stuff falls into that butt rock genre.
Okay.
And I was not familiar with that term until probably a few months ago. So you go on Spotify, you type in butt rock. The butt rock playlist comes up. I'm like, fuck it. Here we go. Let's just embrace this. And the thing with butt rock is the highlights are highlights. And the things that aren't highlights are terrible.
Are awful.
And, I can't do it. I can't do the ones that suck. Like I can't do, and when I say the ones that suck, I'm just, unless I love the song, I can't do it. I just have to skip by them. But what was comical is how many of those songs on the playlist are on those goddamn iPods in the gym. Like there were so many times where I'm listening, I'm like, do I have the Massenomics? Do I have one of the gym iPods on like playing right now? So there's just so much funny things there, but I just got to pull up the list here. So butt rock.
What are some of the other
butt rock anthems? And I like it. It's like the meme of like this shitty drawing of a guy with sunglasses, and it's a white Monster can is what the album cover is. So this is not a Spotify made playlist. It's made by someone else, but.
You're right.
So they kind of they batch some artists together in long stretches, but I'll give you a rundown of some of the artists in here. Yeah. Actually, first one off the bat, I got to give him credit for hitting hard right away. How You Remind Me by Nickelback. That one slaps. That one's a banger. I'll give him credit for that. Then they have a couple more Nickelback songs. Daughtry, Three Doors Down, Puddle of Mud. Actually, okay. We've both heard these songs 10 billion times because we go to the gym.
What's the Three Doors Down song?
Kryptonite.
Okay, there you go. Yes. There you go. Perfect. Yeah.
And we hear these songs 10,000 times because they're on the iPods at the gym. And eventually the iPods get to these playlists where they play. So they're always on. But listening to these, I'm like, this is the first time I've really listened to these songs in years. Like years. Yes. And what really struck me about Puddle of Mud is you just feel like you're hearing a cover band, a Nirvana cover band, go on and then play their own stuff. And it actually shocks me how much they actually sound like that. I've never made that connection before. And I'm sure a ton of people have made that, but that's never dawned on me until now, where it feels like this guy's really ripping the Kurt Cobain sound. So you have Puddle Mud, Seether, Hinder, Saving Abel, Godsmack. Some of this gets into new metal, though, and that's actually going to take me to part 2 of my story here. But we have Godsmack, Kid Rock, Saliva, Avenged Sevenfold, Buck Cherry, Seether, 3 Days Grace, Breaking Benjamin, Tantric, Trapped, Creed, Stained, Stone Sour.
Yeah, Trapped. What's the Trap song that always comes on in the gym?
Headstrong.
Yeah, Headstrong.
It's right here.
Do they have the album cover of that? Is that like a guy mowing with a push mower or something like that? I can't remember what the.
Yes, it is. It is.
Okay,
wow, you're right.
yeah,
it is. I didn't know it.
Yeah, Headstrong. Take on anyone.
I'll take you on.
Yeah.
Like I think of
is
the
Linkin
gym.
Park in the list at all, or does that not fit?
So they are actually on this. So and then when you go down the list, they have Linkin Park, Evanescence, Papa Roach, Theory of a Dead Man, Chevelle, Shinedown. Cause I'm broken. See there, Amy Lee. Like that one's on the gym playlist. I don't know why that gets played, but it does. POD. You get some Slipknot in there. Anyways, yes, exactly. And it goes Hoobastank. It goes on and on and on. But anyways, that list gets really
those are all like some of those iPods are just that.
I'm telling you, like this playlist could just be on one of those iPods, and I'd believe you.
Yeah.
But anyways, that list gets really shitty after a while, and you can't handle it. So then I'm like, no, I'm going into my new metal phase right now, and I gotta say, I've told you briefly about this. What the other day is there's this YouTube channel I really enjoy. It's called the Punk Rock MBA, and the guy's name is Finn McKinty. And he does just kind of like video essays on different things in music. And he has a whole series where it's basically like almost like the Wikipedia article reading through of whatever band, whatever that is. Right. And a ton of them are just like punk bands from, the early 2000s. He has all types of stuff though. And he has a lot of videos on like the whole new metal scene. And he talks, and I think he makes some really good points. He's like, new metal was the last time anyone really cared about rock music because those guys were all larger than life. He's like everyone had a look. Limp Bizkit had a look and a vibe. Korn had a look and a vibe. Slipknot had a look and a vibe. And he's like, now the best thing, the craziest thing metal has going for it is the meme that like, if the guitarist in the metal band you're going to looks like a barista, the pit's going to be fucking wild. And he's like, doesn't that seem like your whole scene is in decay if the craziest thing about it is that your band looks like a bunch of baristas? Like no one's rock stars anymore. They're just like average dudes that play hard music and it's not exciting. No one cares. There's no personalities, any of that. And he talks about how that's why hip hop's killing it right now, because there's all these larger than life personalities. Like these guys are just like cartoon characters. They're so out there. And that's what new metal had going for it. So I watched all these new metal videos this guy has. So then I go to the new metal playlist, and that is an official. The butt rock playlist maybe got me 30 minutes in. I didn't get too far, but then I go to the new metal era playlist, and we got Limp Bizkit, we got Korn, we got Linkin Park, System of a Down.
Also, these are all on the Massenomics.
This playlist is also 100% in the gym. All the same stuff on here. Static X, Taproot, Coal Chamber, like all this stuff going on and on. Power Man 5000, When Worlds Collide, obviously.
Yes, but essential. That could be at the very top.
It just went on, and anyways, so I drive to 3 hours of Sioux Falls. I ended up listening to the new metal playlist the whole way, and I'm telling you, man, new metal, it's a vibe. That is a way of life right there. And I haven't said this, but I've my entire life never been a Slipknot fan, never enjoyed them. And over the last few months, I've actually started to really appreciate and like Slipknot. It must be because I live in Sioux Falls. They're from Des Moines, so they're just down the road from me. So I'm feeling
you're feeling it.
I'm feeling the presence from over here. So I've watched a few videos on Slipknot, some live videos, some of their like earlier stuff, and I'm like, damn, those guys are crazy. Like they talked about how like they were so calculated, like everything they did, like when they had their costumes and their masks and the way they would act and the way they would present themselves and the things they would do is all calculated. Like none of this was an accident. And I'm like, those guys they're like marketing geniuses, and their songs are bangers too. So Slipknot has been one of my new appreciations lately.
I don't know that much about Slipknot other than when I was like starting lifting in like 2009 and 2010. I've had maybe 50 songs I listened to, and 10 of them were Slipknot's 10 most popular songs. And I almost have a hard time listening to any of those.
Because you did it so much.
Because I just listened to them
those
so
songs
many times,
have played in the Massenomics gym 10 billion times, but it's one of those, again, where I know the song. I kind of like know all the words, but I've never really listened to it on intentionally before. And then when you listen to it intentionally, like, man, these things are good. These are,
I've never heard a Limp Bizkit song come at the gym and people not be like, nobody's ever been like, oh, fuck Limp Bizkit. You know,
no.
it's always kind of like,
and I didn't realize
people like to make fun of maybe like some of these bands.
Oh, they do. They do. Like people like to, I think Limp Bizkit is the one that people like to shit on the most.
People, yeah.
And I didn't, I was young enough. I remember being a kid hearing Limp Bizkit like 5th grade and thinking this is the most insane thing I've ever heard. Like this is crazy and liking it. But I didn't realize that they got all this heat at the time. And when I was watching one of this guy's videos, he said like they knew they were like the most hated band. And what was it at? I don't know if it was like Ozfest or something like in the early 2000s. They knew people hated them so much. So like people think we suck, all right. So they put a giant toilet on the stage, and their entrance was they climbed out of the toilet. They're like, people think we're pieces of shit. We'll just be pieces of shit. And how they really embrace like that heel angle of it all. And I mean, that is pretty cool that they
that's funny.
But they have like people are still talking about Limp Bizkit to this day. There's so many bands from that era that people don't talk about at all. And I've always loved System of a Down. Like I think System of a Down is so good. Linkin Park, they're almost a victim of their own success because they were so huge. Like you couldn't. How many friends did you have that were obsessed with Linkin Park?
Most of them.
Exactly.
Like,
yes.
Like in football pre-game, the only thing that got listened to in the locker room was Linkin Park CDs.
Yeah, Linkin Park was huge. And so that almost ruins it for me. Like I always liked them, but just everyone that you were friends with, that's all they wanted to listen to. And so that kind of like ruined it a little bit. But going back now, going back and looking at Linkin Park songs now and listening, you're like, man, that song's 20 years old. It actually does not sound like that. It holds up surprisingly well.
What about two things? First of all, what song System of a Down is it? Everybody's coming to the party.
Yeah, that's Chop Suey.
Time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wake up. Why don't you put a little back up? Yeah.
Okay. And then also, what about Fort Minor?
Oh, no. I'm thinking of BYOB.
Oh, BYOB.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah,
sorry.
Wake up. They both are on at the gym all the time. But
Yes.
And does Fort Minor have a place in the Linkin Park discussion?
No, I do not like Fort Minor. I get it. They
Fort
had
Minor
their
sucks.
catchy pop thing, but I never liked Fort Minor. I was like, no.
I think they suck.
No, they've took any hard edge they had and totally thrown it into this too lame of a pop thing.
Yeah.
But they don't belong. My other one Slipknot story is I always remember when I was probably a freshman in high school, when you're first starting to go into the football locker room where now there's seniors in there. There's all these older kids. It's intimidating. And I remember every once in a while, Duality by Slipknot, the beginning would come on.
I push my fingers into.
Then they would. I don't know if like the coaches told them they couldn't play it or something, but the second that song would ever come on, instantly you'd hear, change it right now. And like everyone would be running over to change it. And I'm assuming they got like talked to about how that song's probably too evil to be playing in school. And now it's like, hearing this stuff now, it doesn't sound overly bad, but that is one of probably my earliest Slipknot memory, actually.
Yeah. Good music discussion then too.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, if it's been a while, if you're listening to this, you probably relate to a lot of these songs.
It's been a while.
It's probably on the playlist somewhere. Just get on give yourself like an hour, pull up Spotify, pull up the new
or just
metal,
come to Massenomics Gym.
or go to Massenomics Gym.
Stereo update.
Yes.
Stereo gate. As long as we're talking about music.
I did see the speakers on the wall. They look amazing.
Yeah, the stereo. I think we've finally reached our final resolution on the Massenomics Gym stereo. It is new to us, refurbished speakers, Advent speakers. I think it's like 210s, 2.8s. Got a couple speakers. Got them all hung. Larry Legend got them hung up all.
They look great
on
up
the wall now. All the wiring's run through the walls, and a new receiver amp that is Bluetooth capable, and we were able to get rid of like those speakers sitting on the ground, so there's actually more room there now, and it all works really well, and I can actually, there's a max set behind the scenes. I don't know if I mentioned that on the podcast, but I now have the power.
Works. They haven't figured out how to break off the switch and take it to the next level.
You keep just turning the switch, and it says max, and that number is whatever I want it to be.
That's pretty
cool. And that's
cool.
maybe my new favorite part of the new stereo, because I do not want to.
So would you say,
like in this current edition, there's like $1,000 into it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I don't want to spend another $1,000 on this next year. I want this to work for a little while.
Yeah.
Here.
Do you think things sound better getting them off the floor?
It sounds really good.
And spread out, actually, where it's not just all pointing in the same direction.
It sounds really good. And even without it being really loud, I think it sounds really good.
So would you say your max right now is comparable to old level 30?
I don't know if it's as loud.
Okay, but
not,
still, old level
but
30 was really
better.
loud. Like,
it's not that loud.
You didn't ever
but
keep it on sustained levels of 30.
No, I've got it at a level where it wouldn't be 30 level. It would be a level where you'd come in and it's like the loud sustained level. Like it's pretty loud. I mean, it's reasonably pretty freaking loud, but it's right now you can't, in theory, like you're going for that PR,
and
you can't turn it up
30,
that extra 5 notches. But also, like, if someone really wants to do that, they can put on their headphones for that if they want to. Or like if I'm there, I can actually, but I can't. I've learned I can't just allow anyone to that can't be easily accessible for everyone because then it gets ruined. So
it does.
That's why we can't have nice things. Okay. But now we have nice things.
The resolution is it is good and proper now.
Yeah, and it's consistently been working for like 5 days now, no issues, and works really. It sounds great.
Does this one have Bluetooth on it? I couldn't remember what you said.
Yeah, this one is, and
so people can do that still.
Still has the aux cord, of course. I have to, even though most people would choose to Bluetooth. I couldn't not have there be an aux cord too.
I agree. I always, even when there was Bluetooth, I would always just use the aux cord because
a lot of most of the people still do that even too. And I don't know, it's just easier.
I feel like it only remembers so many devices because sometimes you get down there and there's 8 guys that have all had their thing paired to it, and it's like it can't find yours to pair to.
Right. That does happen too. But no, I think we got thumping tunes and they sound good, but it's not going to thump so much that it blows out these speakers.
Would you say that actually might be the best 1,000 you've ever spent at the gym?
The $100 on the hack squat is still the best $100. The best
we're
1,000
in a different category here.
Yeah, the best 1,000. I'd have to think about that harder. No, it's not to me because, well, actually, I was talking with someone today at the gym. This is actually really ties into this exact question that you asked. And anymore, sometimes like in my younger days, I wouldn't have wanted to spend $1,000 on something if all it did was like save me a little bit of annoyance and stress.
Like maintain the status quo almost.
Right. And anymore, I'm kind of like, anything I can do to like reduce, like, even if this was only going to be an issue I had to deal with an hour a week of just like annoyance and like deal with people with questions and stuff like that.
I'll say
anything I can do to reduce
52 hours a year.
Right. Every time I can reduce one more of those things, like even if it costs $1,000, I really have to strongly consider it now at this point because there's a lot of value in
robot vacuums that just clean the place routinely.
I have, I mean, that is a thing that people do have is robot vacuums that clean the thing. I did just buy a new shop vac though too. Brand new, top of the line. It got it the same day as the stereo actually. The highest horsepower shop vac I could find.
How many horsepower are we talking here?
I think it's 6.5 or 7.
Damn.
Yeah, it's 6.5.
They went that high.
I don't want to exaggerate. It's 6.5.
Yeah. Well, you can round up to 7. It rounds
got
up.
It at Menards. So that's how you know
money.
It's good.
Did you get an 11% rebate on it?
Yeah, I'm not a dumbass.
I mean, let's be honest.
I don't buy anything.
Let's be honest. That deal's not going anywhere anytime soon.
So I did get the new shop vac too, and it's got freshly vacuumed after the stereo went in. So it's really got a nice. The whole place has a pretty nice vibe right now.
Yeah, I should have.
Table Talk's been airing on repeat quite a bit. I can get in there to make sure it's working.
Well, how did you do that?
I just turn it on whenever the DVD West Side versus the World plays on repeat all the time. And when I get there, every day that I get there, I just turn it to YouTube while
you
I'm
do?
there.
Okay.
And then I just switch the input.
I was just
quick
waiting for you
before
to,
I leave.
I was waiting for you to tell me that I actually bought a $40 DVD burner. I ripped. You could do that. You could rip because you can buy a DVD burner that just plugs into your computer. It's probably $40.
Right.
And you could.
Well, I've got my thing actually. I've got my thing that I can digitize anything now.
Oh, can you do DVDs with that too? I didn't know.
Yeah, it's you could hook whatever you just hook whatever you want to hook into it.
Oh.
So I use the RCA cables to hook into a VCR, but you could hook it into a DVD player.
Okay.
Just the
well,
same.
no. What I was gonna say is you could just get a DVD burner, just save the YouTube video to your computer. You could burn Table Talk to a DVD, and then you can have Table Talk actually play on repeat at the gym.
Like actually Table Talk playing on repeat and through the DVD, like the old school system.
Like
actually,
you'd ask, you'd actually burn because a DVD burner is like $40. You could actually burn a DVD and do that.
Right. And I suppose I could just do the thumb drive too. But
yeah. I forgot about the thumb. Something about having the DVD is nice though, you know.
Oh, I know. That's actually I'm intrigued by the thought of it being on a DVD.
Actually, that'd be a great way to. Is that a Blu-ray player in there or a DVD player?
It is not a nice looking DVD player, but maybe it is a Blu-ray player. I don't know. I actually don't know where that came from even.
I'm trying to think because did I bring one? Did I bring that in there? Maybe
you brought that in there.
I might have, and it might be a Blu-ray player.
That might be your DVD player that you.
It might be because I remember at my desk or at my old house, I had like this shitty DVD player sitting there that I inherited somehow from someone. But I also had a Blu-ray player, and I'm wondering if that was the Blu-ray player or the DVD. Either way, my point is that
there was a certain DVD in this. Remember, like when we first got it, there was a DVD in this, and that would help me remember whose it was if I could remember what DVD was in there.
Yeah, I wonder if it was like some concert or skate video or something.
Okay, that could be.
But anyways, if it's a Blu-ray player, what I'm saying is you can fit a lot of footage on one of those. You could burn like the entire Massenomics 2023 vlogs to a Blu-ray. That could play on repeat at the gym. That'd be pretty cool too.
Yeah, I like the sounds of that. I have been using my thing, digitizing some.
How has that been going? Like, are you?
I've really only done one at this time, and I started with I had a tape of an old high school football playoff game that I burned on there, and it worked awesome. Worked really good.
Have you put any of them on YouTube yet? Like, have you got to that step?
Not yet.
Okay.
I haven't done that yet, but I will do that at some point in time. And luckily, I know that's not an intimidating step for me since we put shit on YouTube all the time. I kind of know how that goes.
That's the easiest part.
Yeah. That's it. Do we have another ad to read? Or?
Yes, we do. I got one right here from our good friends at Bearfoot Shoes and the Ursonomics, baby. It's the Massenomics Barefoot collab you've all been waiting for. Tanner's pointing at it right there, and it is a beautiful splicing of black suede, black canvas, and red suede. That's right. It combines the durability and comfort of suede leather with lightweight and breathable canvas for a shoe that sits at the top of the food chain. And this thing is bitchin', baby. Buy yourself a pair. Go to www.barefoot.store. The numbers are getting dangerously low. So if you're on the fence, you're going to want to take advantage of that now because your size more than likely will sell out soon. Orders should hopefully be shipping later this month. And when they do, you're going to hear all about it because we're not going to shut up. We're going to wear those things everywhere. I'm going to wear them in my sleep. I'm going to wear them to take a shower. I'm never taking them off. So if you want to
wear them for a noon ball.
There you go. Up-tempo, stay in the box. The Barefoots, the Ursonomics go on for ball, baby. Go to www.barefoot.store. Buy yourself a pair. And while you're at it, make sure to add a pair of awesome wraps to your cart and use code MASS. And you'll get the awesome wraps for free. We're talking free. You can't pass that up. So www.barefoot.store, add the awesome wraps, use code MASS. You'll get them free. You got to buy the shoes, but shoes are awesome. Should be coming soon. Thank you, Bearfoot Shoes.
Make sure to check out our items from our last new drop. We still have some blue ribbon powerlifting tees. That blank that we printed those on, just rave reviews on the shirt tee.
People were liking that, weren't they?
On. Yeah, just
I agree.
Nothing but positive vibes.
To me, when I put that on, I agree. That fits like an extra large fits.
Yep.
Which means, you know what that means? The next one's not going to fit like this.
I don't know how to react when everyone says they like the fit of it. I just feel I'm a little taken off guard by that too.
Like they're
you know,
lying to you.
Yeah, it's like, what's going on?
just
Is there you all
humoring
in
you?
on this? But yeah, it does great fitting T-shirt. You know, if we didn't even print anything on this, you would just want to buy this T-shirt. If it was just the blank, you would still want to buy it. But luckily for you, we put a cool design on it. Even it's our 8-bit, not our 8-bit powerlifting. It's our blue ribbon powerlifting design. Also, our hoodie, our latest coat in our long line of Massenomics coats, is the block camo design on the heather gray hoodie. And then also from the drop, our MSS NMX heavy lifting crew Richardson hat, the right hat for you. Snapback, mesh back, black hat with the gold patch on it. Love the patch on this. It's
Classic.
It's tits. It's the tits. Buy this hat. It's the tits. Anything else this week, Tommy?
I do got to say one more thing that I just I think
the
about
hat?
every once in a while. No, this is different. One time I was on YouTube watching I think it was Limp Bizkit, like 97 spring break.
Did he break stuff?
I don't even know if Break Stuff was out yet then. But
that's old.
yeah, it was old. It was like 97 or 98. Limp Bizkit, MTV Spring Break. And, Fred Durst is on stage doing his thing, and there's girls coming up.
Red hat to the back, yeah.
Yeah, of course. And there's girls in bikinis, coming out of the crowd and dancing on the stage, and everyone's having a good old time. And I remember reading a YouTube comment, and they're like, it's pretty crazy that when you think about it, those girls that are dancing on the stage to a Limp Bizkit concert are now like 45 or 50 years old. And I think about that sometimes, and it's kind of crazy. I'm just saying I think about that once in a while. It's wild. It's a wild world we live in.
That is.
So you could
really interesting thought.
You could potentially be. I'm saying you. I'm not saying you specifically, Tanner. I'm just saying all the listeners. Someday you could walk into a business meeting, and across the table from you is a professional businesswoman sitting there.
And she was on the.
She's a few years older than you. She seems to have her life together. Everything's going right. She's very professional, but she could have been on the MTV Spring Break stage in '97 with Fred Durst, living the life.
Did you like the thong song?
I mean, when you're young, the video is pretty cool. It had that novelty for it.
It just kind of reminds me of like Spring Break 1997.
It's kind of that.
I don't. What year would that song have come out?
Oh, I bet that's got to be right around 99, doesn't it?
Maybe, yeah.
Let's see, thong song. 2000, released February 15th, 2000. Okay.
I was off, but it felt 99 or 97.
I mean, it was basically the 90s,
Yeah, right. Baby When the Booty Goes. Cisco.
Baby When the Booty Goes. Oh, that's good. Cisco, Unleash the Dragon.
Yes. All right, let's
bring this one
take
on
this
home.
one on. Send us on home, Johnny. We know where to find us. Tommy, where do they find you at?
You can find me at Tomahawk_D.
You can follow me at Tanner_Bear. Just make sure to follow Massenomics at Massenomics.
Oh, Salute Studio 6.9.0.
RIP.
On to the next one.
Next week, bigger and better.
Here we go.